Oh, goodness. Hello. Thank you for joining us, hopefully. There we go. Haha. I did not have time uh, to set up stuff with one button press. One press of a button to get us here. But hello. Oh, darn it. My text is backwards on the overlay. But that's okay. I'll figure it out in a minute. Hello and welcome to the first the first episode of rEvolution, the 1980s superhero TTRPG actual play. I am Natalie, your GM for this adventure, and I'm just excited to get started on it. It's been a minute since there has been a TTRPG show on my channel, and I'm very happy to get back into it. So yes, 1980s, 1980s Minneapolis to be specific about it. At least that's where we're starting. The adventure can take us all over the world and beyond.
Beyond.
And beyond. So we are gonna start off. I have an order for us to start off this week, and it's a sort of hierarchical sort of thing. But I'm going to start
Damn
off
straight.
with with our the club owner for the pentagram, which will be the group's base of operations / party good time headquarters. And the owner of that is Amy Scoville, who is being played by Robin. So, Robin, a little bit about yourself, and since it's our first episode, introduce your character to us, if you please.
Hello, my name is Robin. You can find me on Twitter at KaikaC. You can find me here also on Tuesday night talking about Star Trek The Next Generation, the season finale of season 3, which is a pretty big season finale, with Natalie and Hope, who will be introducing himself shortly. But you can also find me on Wednesday and Thursday nights on Cyto's channel, in a game run by Cyto on Wednesday and one run by Anarchy Tony on Thursday. And yes, I am indeed playing. I'm. Oof, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do my Kathleen Turner voice, which is what I had planned. But anyway, whether that happens or not, we'll find out. Amy Scoville, who is a half demon. Her mother is an ancient demon of power and a certain amount of malice, or maybe just bitterness. We'll find out as the campaign goes on. And her father is a successful vintner in California, in the growing California wines boom. But she is a transplant to Minneapolis because her mom hates the cold. And she decided to open a little club. She is, of course, aware of supernatural and preternatural creatures that walk among us, being one herself. And she decided to open a club where they could meet and where she could maybe advance the demonic cause, at least in her own way, by promoting kind of the range of different musical styles of the time, such as dark wave and goth, and the early beginnings of black metal and doom metal, kind of all of your favorite music genres that promote a lot of occult and satanic symbols. So very much playing into the idea of the satanic panic and being like, yeah, panic, because I'm satanic and I'm here.
Panic satanically.
And satanically. But yes, and she opens this club, and she is also, as one can tell, I think the art is. Do we have the art up for our characters on the thing?
We don't. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I wasn't able to get
case,
that.
I will go into a little more detail. She has red hair, very bright red hair, and a very muscular build. She dresses a little on the dominatrix side. She uses a whip as kind of her primary weapon or accessory, as is appropriate. And her eyes are normally kind of a human brown color, but when she starts to get adrenaline rushing or emotional, they turn to red and goat slitted, which are her natural eye color. So she also tends to wear sunglasses a lot. She is a little chilled, not super ambitious, which is a point of tension with her mother, who thinks that she should be ushering in the apocalypse. And we'll see if she ends up actually doing that over the course of this campaign or not. But yeah, I guess that is that's what I'd say about Amy so far, which is maybe too much, but there you go.
I think it's an excellent amount, and parents just don't understand, you know. I tell you what.
They really, yeah.
You gotta fight for your right to party.
That's
exactly.
very true. And speaking of fighting,
and that's what Satan wants you to do. Just wants you to party. So like, what's the big deal? You know?
There we go. Let's move on over to the man himself, Hope.
Oh yeah.
A little bit about yourself, where we can find you, and your character, please, if you please.
Yeah, I'm Hope. You can find me here on Sunday nights and Tuesday nights with Robin, doing all the things that Robin does, and Robin and Natalie both do, and then on Monday nights on Milady Cyto's channel for Tales of Druhi, which is a game that is running alongside the lore from Once Upon a Leap, except, you know, we're doing it more fashionably, you know, more angst.
Definitely more angst. I can vouch for that.
It hurts so badly. But tonight, here on Sunday nights, for the foreseeable future, I'm playing Zach Brighton, who is an AU Jack Burton. He's a truck driver. His truck, and the main differences between him and Jack Burton are he has a different tank top, and his truck is the roast beef rambler instead of the pork chop express. And he has supernatural powers from a parasitic invasion by a fae that got trapped in the Appalachian Mountains. Because in this AU, all of the events from Big Trouble in Little China happened in New York City. So he gains his power from this fae that is trying to escape back into the preternatural realm, but hasn't been able to leave the mountains until extremely recently. And he's piggybacking with Zach, looking forward to the apocalypse to come, apparently, so that he can finally escape. And he chose a pretty adventurous type because, you know, Zach's, you know, he likes what he likes, and he likes a lot of what he sees, including cryptids. So,
just a dirty monster effer.
Yep.
Yes, in case anybody's wondering, yes, we have banged.
That's true.
Basically a John Constantine.
I'm not embarrassed.
I think you're nailing the Kathleen Turner, by the way. All right. Thank you, Hope. Let's move on over to our one percenter, Lord Petty Panda. Oh God, I just realized you're Holy Knight Petty, but I keep defaulting to your Discord because that's your handle that I got in my head first. I will fix that while you tell us a little bit about yourself and and your character, if you please.
That's fine. I thought I was unmuted. I'm sorry. Anywho,
Did you laugh while you thought you were unmuted?
Yeah. It's fine. So my name is Dennis, obviously, and you can find me on Twitter at Holy Knight Petty, like Natalie has said. But you can also find me on Discord at Lord Petty Panda. I don't think you can search people on Discord. I don't really know how it works. Anywho, I'm also here on, well, not here. I'm on Dark Aardvark's channel only on Sundays. But I play with Natalie also on Wednesdays. Haha. See what I did there? Anyway, in our Once Upon a Time campaign where I play PETA. And then, you know, one of these days, probably in 2023, we'll finish the Four Omens campaign. So until that campaign's over, See me there as well.
Surely we will get it in
One of these times.
in finale part 4 Omens.
Exactly. So, one moment. I'm actually really. All right. Anywho, so Samuel Charles Vanderwall. Not entirely sure how I got into these buffoons and dealing with them. I really only come here to drink, hang out.
Look at Zach's muscles.
Maybe with Mark or Steve, but they signed NDAs, so it's all fine. But one night when I was hanging out with, some fellow Ivy Leaguers, watching them fail miserably at trying to win the attentions of some beautiful woman, because that's how I do. I decided to go and show up my cohorts and win, basically. So I took her home. She, gets to talking, and then she's rambles on about this secret that I have. I have no secrets. No, none. Not a one. I mean, Peter might say something. No, he also signed an NDA. So I have no secrets. But then we got to the things and such a beautiful woman. I didn't think that she was more attractive than I, though, because, look at me. I'm this 6'3" ginger god. I have 8-pack abs. I have bulging biceps. I have an ass that you can bounce a quarter off of. Spectacular. What woman doesn't want me?
You're 100% straight.
1,000% straight. We get there. As the climax happens, she starts glowing. That's when I knew that she was out of my league. I don't say that often. Never said it. Key fact. Then something strange happened. I mean, I could have blamed the glowing on the drugs, drinking. No, it started raining in my bedroom. She surely had a lot to explain at that point. Yada, 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 so forth, so forth. We find out that she's Goddess Iris, the one that's Rainbow, Mother of Pothos. She started going rambling a little bit, the way that women do, and I just zoned out. Really, all that I remember is until I give birth to the next Iris God reincarnation, I get to use the powers as I please. Only caveat, I have to be true to myself. What man who isn't true to himself can get a woman off? I mean, I did that. I know who I am.
That's delightful. I'm super het. I got her so wet it started raining in my room.
First I was like, no big deal. All women climax. Start glowing when they climax. I know from my many experiences.
It took me forever not to say. You do realize all it takes is 16 seconds of constant repetition. I'm just saying, for those who need that information out there, it's 16 seconds of constant repetition. If you cannot do that, you need to figure that out.
That's good facts to know.
Dennis did not know this about the female anatomy.
I think that might be a you fact, Cyto.
No, I learned it. So it's specifically towards whatever the Taurus or each person is different on that part. But it's the 16 seconds is traditional on a repetitive manner.
Tradition. Let us fornicate in the traditional manner. 16 seconds at a time.
I had to look it up because one of my TikToks I follow was like, I guess someone called her out and she's lesbian, but it was funny. She was like, "It's not my fault that you can't do this," and she slapped this into the camera, and it was like 16 seconds. I was like, that can't be real, and I had to Google that. I was like, oh, so yeah, but it has to be constant stimulation. If it's not, then it start all over. start all over.
The clock starts all over.
I feel like that was probably a pretty good introduction to Amber. So
That is probably
I
a
think
pretty
we're
good
done.
introduction to Amber, but let's hear a little bit about you, milady Cyto, and well, a little bit less, I guess.
yeah, can we get something
Fucking-
less personal?
yeah,
I guess.
you pull- where we can find you a little bit about yourself and more, I guess, about Amber, if you please.
Fair enough, fair enough. Hello, my name is Milady Cyto, and I play tabletop games on my channel. There's a lot of stuff coming on my channel. Just keep an eye out for it. I don't really need to say too much because everyone else said things for me. My brain just went dead. That's all I got. That's all I got for myself.
That's
However, I'm playing Amber tonight. Amber she's been through a lot of things. It's been rough. Her family life it's not bad. She has a loving parent, and her other parent is there sometimes, but is constantly working. Home life wise, it just doesn't make sense why she's completely and utterly addicted to can we say narcotics? I think we can say narcotics.
You're way more
Already
versed in the
did
TOS
twice.
than I am, so
I'm pretty sure we can say narcotics.
Okay.
So she's a little bit she has a tendency to lean towards that as she mutated, and she has no idea why she has this mutated superpower to abstract not only memories but sometimes different powers from other people. The memories can be sometimes hard to take. Sometimes they're not always good memories, sometimes they're bad memories, and sometimes to the one who beholds it, the eye of the beholder, that memory is a fantastic achievement. However, not so great. So she uses drugs to kind of numb the pain and kind of dull the sound of however many memories that she's holding, and just kind of focus on her own mind pattern.
that's good.
Kind of her.
That's kind of her. Indeed, that doesn't make
Also,
any
she's
sense.
employed by Samuel.
Yes, there is a bit. That's part of the hierarchy of this layout. Is we got the club owner in the hot seat, and then Zachariah works. In a roundabout, is a vendor for
I wasn't
the
sure
club.
if we were supposed to say that part. I was like, no one else said me connections.
It's up. I mean, it's up to you two for that arrangement, but there is a method to the layout madness.
Oh, I thought I was just kind of clear when I said he's a truck driver. I mean, he's just there sometimes.
Just there sometimes. So indeed,
To drop off a load.
hey-o.
You know.
And
More than one.
16 seconds of repetitive work sometimes. Apparently. So, we are going to begin on. Well, first of all, Robin, what nights is Amy's club open? Is it open every night, or?
So the pentagram, which I guess I will, from the outside, you would think that maybe it's a strip club, and you would potentially not be entirely wrong about that. I would say that it's in, for people who know, it is in the warehouse district, and so would have been in the warehouse district in the 80s, before the warehouse district got super trendy. Just north of downtown Minneapolis. It is, so it's a building. It probably does not actually have much in the way of windows because it is a converted warehouse. And most of the windows there, at least on the front of the building, where people can actually go, are probably all blacked out. and it has in big sort of very 80s neon letters. Just says pentagram in purple neon, with the A sort of in the form of a pentagram in black and outlined in red to make the letter.
Ooh.
And it is open Wednesdays through Sundays. I think that as we open, I believe we are in the early stages, maybe even opening night for the pentagram. But I think that there tend to be different musical genres, probably associated with each night, generally speaking. Maybe not at the very outset, but generally, I think that's probably how it develops. So, if you are really into metal, you probably know not to come on, say, like Wednesday nights when it is,
Weird
much
Wednesday.
more of a
Weird Wednesday.
Weird Wednesday, or like that's when, say, we get the more dark wave acts perform on Wednesday, for instance, as opposed to. But yes, so Wednesday through Sunday opens at about 3 p.m. You can get drinks. There is no food here, but you can get drinks before the show starts, starting at around 3, and then closes.
Wow.
Well, yeah, why not? We'll say can.
I'm just surprised that the show starts at 3.
No, not the show.
Oh,
The place opens at 3. The show starts at
gotcha.
10.
Some
7:38.
some reasonable rock and roll time
Yep, exactly.
to start. Sure. Well, I'm on a Wednesday. It can be the first Wednesday that the club is planning on being open. That's fine and works for me. But a gorgeous woman, pale skin, piercing green eyes, and black hair, dressed as an 80s businesswoman wearing a black blazer with
All the shoulder pads.
with the shoulder pads in hers, not on the one I'm wearing, and wearing a brooch, cameo brooch with a white blouse with a bow, not a bow tie, but a tie in the front that is in a bow, like your classic 80s businesswoman. It's a girl tie, sort of thing. Glides into the room. She's or into the club, I should say. Thank you, Nerd Me. As the band ages out, they play earlier in the day. Yeah, it's always a bummer for them when they're too old and have to play the 4 o'clock seniors drinking hour. But she glides in. It's 2:30 in the afternoon, so a little bit before the club opens. Who is in the club on this Wednesday afternoon at 2:30? You're all, well, I guess.
Yeah, Zach's got a dolly cases of beer right now.
Yeah,
He's bringing it in from the back.
Zach's working.
works.
If it is the opening night, then let's make it not the opening night. Let's do that, because I want there to be a possibility that
We already banged.
well, I mean,
Oh,
sure.
I
But-
think
Well,
we knew each
Amy
other. I think
and
we knew
Zach.
each-
Yeah.
We knew each other before the club opened.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
that's true.
There we go.
Zach knows everybody.
But I would like there to be a possibility, if they think their characters would be there, for oh my goodness, Samuel and Amber to be there.
Too much press at an opening night. Doesn't matter if
Oh, there's
it's
no
a big
press.
bar or not, but
Press not allowed.
it's just
Is that what
a
we're
lot of
saying
people
these
go to the
days?
place on its opening.
Sure. So we'll say they're not there, which makes sense because she's showing up before the opening. But she glides in, and I'm gonna
I would
I'm
say it's a
gonna make-
possibility that I might be there though, as the. I mean,
It
it's
is
late
before
night,
it
right?
opens. No,
Oh,
it's
okay,
before it
no.
opens. Yeah.
No.
Waking up in the spare bedroom.
Yeah, no, fucking if it's early 2 p.m. like Amber's still fucking asleep in the spare bedroom.
Just waking up somewhere in the
All right.
bar.
So, the lady glides in. I'm gonna say she sees Zach first because Zach is moving stuff in and out, and Amy is,
In her office.
Amy most likely in her office. So she'll, from a respectful distance away from Zach. She's kind of waiting by the side entrance that Zach uses to, park his truck off the main road, and a nice little side entrance for bringing in the booze and stuff.
Yep.
So waits and catches him as he's coming in, and says, "Pardon me. I'm looking for the owner of the establishment, Amy Scoville."
Oh yeah, she's right back here in her office, and he'll just yell over his shoulder for Amy.
Delightful,
Amy!
thank you.
I'm in my office and I'm on the phone, so I do not respond to just having my name yelled out.
Sure.
Someone here to see you. And then Zach will start walking toward you. Might as well come along. I don't know what she's up to.
All right, thank you.
I say, have Denise deal with it.
I don't know who Denise is. And he opens the door. She's right through here.
Thank you kindly.
I say, I'll call you back, but I really need that shipment by Saturday. You know what'll happen if I don't get it. And I hang up the
Indistinct
phone
mumbling
and
is heard from the other side of the line.
After the lady walks into the room, Zach will actually walk in himself, close the door, and lean against the door jamb.
She'll
Can I help you with something? I
Should-
don't recall putting an appointment down on my schedule.
Of course, I
We open at 3.
apologize. I understand. I just came as a courtesy to introduce myself. I recently purchased the property from the gentleman whom you might have been familiar with dealing with before. My name is Eliza Blackstone, and you are, I presume, Amy Scoville. Is that correct?
At that, Amy will stand up and will put some sunglasses on, and will offer what could only be technically called a smile, to show more that she has a lot of teeth, and suggest that maybe she has eaten human with them before.
She is. You can actually, if you would like to give an intimidation roll, you are more than welcome to.
I don't think she's really being.
She's not trying to. It's just.
She's maybe a little bit,
Yeah.
but it's more that I think she's more just trying to communicate that, like, oh, you. And she'll stick out her hand for a handshake and say, yes, you outbid me at that place. It was on this place. I was hoping to own it straight out, and your agent just jumped in at the last minute and went up another couple $1 million. It's very nice to meet you. Miss, what was the name again?
Ms. Blackstone, Eliza Blackstone.
Miss Blackstone.
Yes, indeed. She keeps glancing back at Zach. Not uncomfortably, but just, situational awareness slash sizing him up a little bit.
Yeah, he's not
But-
doing anything threatening. He's not even like fidgeting
Sure.
with a cigarette or anything. He's just sort of like being nosy.
Sure.
I will motion for her to have a seat, and I will sit down, and I will take out a cigarette and start smoking it.
Sure. The 80s, y'all.
Well, what can I help you with, Miss Blackstone? I hope you're not here to tell me that the neighbors have been complaining about the noise.
No, not at all. Well, you can take off the sunglasses if you'd like. I'm actually a friend of your mother's.
At that, my nostrils like flare is the only way I can
Sure.
describe it, and I'm gonna see if I can smell any demonic magic coming off of this person.
Okay. I'm going to, you know. What does Amy have that you think would be good for that? Do you think? I'm aiming for.
I would say it's a perception check, probably.
Perception check. That works for me. So why don't we go ahead and give that a roll? I should have mentioned. We're using Mutants and Masterminds 3rd edition for our system. We've play tested, so we have a decent idea, but there's going to be some learning going on here.
We are within 10 feet, I believe, so I don't
Yes,
get any
very
penalty.
easily. And you're in an enclosed,
And we're in an enclosed space. 23.
But yes, that's definitely good enough for me to say she is. You get a mix of human and demon, and I'll say with above a 20, I'll give you that it's she's not part demon, but she's a human that wields demonic magic.
When she says that she knows Amy's mother, what does Zach see in her aura? He'll just kind of like squint his eyes and let him go Firefly a little bit.
Okay. There is... Oh, man, I forgot we were going to sort out something that made sense.
You can just make shit up. I don't care.
Well,
There's no standard for this.
I'd like it to be a little... I'd like there to be some consistency to it. But for now, I'll say you're getting the same... whatever the colors are, which you know what, I'll just put something on it. Who knows? There's a dark shimmer to it, not unlike what you see with Amy's aura. And also mixed in a little bit. First of all, can Zach see his own aura?
I think he sees it when he's waking.
He's waking. Does he? I guess a better question would be: is the entity in him?
Okay, absolutely.
I know it's a very old god, sort of thing. But would it lean more towards? Is it a good entity or a good, neutral, or evil entity? I guess would be the way to.
It's become evil through boredom.
Okay.
And
sure.
Having the Fey base. It's not difficult when you're that chaotic.
It's so you would see the black shimmery, what you've come to associate with demonic, but also the inverse of that. So like a white shimmering. If you're, we're starting off, I believe, you can all correct me if I'm wrong, but all of your characters know each other. Maybe not well, but at least familiar with each other. So it's a mix. Then it'd be a mix of a little bit of a mix of Amy and Samuel's. So there's sort of the like a swirling mix. You can't really make out which one is stronger than the other, but if you had to hazard a guess, the demonic one is a touch stronger, at least in this moment.
Okay.
And but just like a I'll leave it there. I don't want to start.
The question that you're answering is she a shit talking human, or is she someone who actually, might actually know Amy's mother.
It's if she doesn't know Amy's mother, she's probably at least aware that Amy's mother is a demon.
Mm-hmm.
But it would make sense based off what she's said. It would make sense.
Yeah. Okay. That's sorry. We'll streamline that.
Sure.
Amy, at the mention of her mother,
Sorry.
and with the oh no, that wasn't directed at you. It was more at her mother, and with the whiff that she gets off of Eliza, will put out her cigarette, and will somehow smile to show even more teeth, and open one drawer and take out what is clearly, hopefully I can say this, a J, and light that instead.
Sure.
And say,
You can say that.
and say, oh, and how do you know my dear mother?
Well, that story is a bit long, but I will
And I
say,
and of course you would show up at 2:30, right before we open. How
well, this is
convenient.
not exactly my scene, but I will say she did not direct me to purchase your club. I decided to
Inside check.
purchase it. Sure, go for it.
Because it seems like the sort of thing that her mother would do.
Absolutely.
15.
15,
Oh, I guess I could
she
have
is-
just done this as a I guess I would just do this as a routine check, probably. Actually.
Yes. What?
And especially since
let us.
Eliza's not lying, it doesn't. Yeah.
Well, let us know anyway. Let's give a little insight. What is the routine check?
It was a 15.
No, but no,
Yeah,
I'm
so
just
check was
like,
a 15.
what is a routine check? Like, by
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I think like in since I feel like people know it, like in D&D terms, I feel like it's kind of close to like a passive check.
Yeah.
But it's basically you can, especially in non-combat situations, you can just basically add 10 to anything and do that as a passive check. And if it beats the DC set by the GM, then
Indeed.
you just know it and you don't have to roll for it. So you don't have so Mutants and Masterminds encourages that, I think, a little bit more than D&D, so that you don't have the situations where there's something that your character should be good at, and you just roll badly,
fail.
and for
Yeah,
some reason
fail it.
you happen to know nothing about something that clearly your character should know something about.
Indeed, I agree. And one of the not every system has its place. This system just makes more sense for the campaign that I have in mind, which is why we're playing it. So there's no animosity to other systems here. Just, you know, I really like this system.
He doesn't want to be a superhero.
Exactly.
So detecting, I'm assuming detecting no lies detected.
Correct.
I sit back in my chair and I say, so then I guess we're back at the original question, aren't we? Why are you here? Is it to raise the rent?
No, actually, no, definitely not to raise the rent. How financially beneficial this is for you is a bit up to you, and I would say your cohorts, like Mr. Zachary Brighton behind me, and newer friends to you, like Amber and Samuel.
I suck in my breath over my teeth at that. And I'm like, I'm very curious how you managed to pull those names out of the air.
Again, perhaps a story for another time. And
I will lean forward a little bit and take a puff and kind of blow the smoke, not in Eliza's face, but kind of like closer to it
direction.
than is polite.
Sure.
And I will say, I realize that you own the building. I just would like to impress upon you that many of the patrons here value their privacy very much.
Indeed, understand that, and I am not here to change that. What brought about this meeting is the word that you put out in the underground channels for your preferred clientele.
I see. Is that going to be a problem?
Not at all. In fact, it showed to me that you are aligned with my group and whom I represent in our goals, and I thought perhaps we could work together. Waiting for a response from Amy, without looking back anymore, she says, Mr. Brighton, if you would like to have a seat, you are more than welcome. You can also, of course, stay there if you wish.
I look at Zach over the top of my sunglasses like, what is your read on this person?
He does that, like, mushy mouth thing to the side, like, thinking, like, that it's intriguing. And he's obviously thinking financially in that look of intrigue.
Well, let it never be said that I'm not my mother's daughter. For the right price, I'm certainly open to partnerships.
Well, partnership perhaps. We'll see about that one.
Damn.
Oh, right?
I had in mind a little bit more of well, I guess a freelance sort of thing. There's some things I need done that I do not have the time to do myself, and the four of you
You want some minions?
Are uniquely suited to do this. Minions, no. Well, I guess in the parlance from where I'm from, a minion indicates the person is up to evil.
Oh. He shrugs.
However,
And can I ask exactly where you are from, Miss Blackstone?
well, I don't want to insult you, but I am from England, however, not the one that we could hop on the Concorde and go to right now. But I have been in the Americas for... oh, goodness. Well, it depends on how you... never mind. For a good 15 years now, I suppose.
I see.
She's definitely... I will say with your... is 15 your...
That's my routine check, yeah.
That's your routine check. For... I guess this would technically be insight.
Perception is 18. Insight is
Okay.
15.
Oh, there we go. What is Zach's routine for insight?
Okay.
10 plus whatever the plus is on your sheet.
Yeah. Just... I'm a little far away from my...
That's okay.
16.
16. All right. Well, both of you get that she's leaving out some sort of information. For sure. But if you are not going to press anything on it, she will continue. I'm from a different plane, I suppose. Very similar to this one. In fact, almost identical to this one with some slight differences. There are many of them around. All have essentially the same geography, more or less. Sometimes aren't inhabited by both. Well, you see, you live on the natural side, and she's still looking at Amy, but she's clearly directing this more at Zach,
Who has
she-
gotten very
yeah.
fidgety.
She's
He's trying hard not to.
Sure. You both get the feeling with your routine checks that she's presuming that Amy Amy knows more, maybe not everything, but knows more than Zach, which is why she's kind of directing it to Zach.
Yeah, and his fidgetiness is not something that he's consciously aware of the motivation for.
Sure.
But something inside him has become very agitated with this description.
Sure.
And it's expressing itself by a recrossing of legs and a re-rolling of
Sure.
his cigarettes up in his sleeve and checking that his pockets still go all the way down.
I will admit, Mr. Brighton, I am not entirely sure who your friend is. But he seems to not be enjoying this conversation very much.
It's always hard to say.
Indeed.
I don't know that much about him here.
Fair. Something I might be able to help you out with if you wish and your passenger allows. And
Okay.
she does take a look at you now. You get the feeling it's, especially after with what she's saying, that she's more concerned with how your passenger is reacting to what she's saying more so than you.
Oh yeah, it's the way that Zach is feeling is this sort of anticipation, almost like a breathlessness that is trying to be squashed, so it doesn't reveal too much. That's what's going on inside him, and he's just
Okay.
trying to not reveal too much of that because it's embarrassing and weird.
Sure. You know,
But there's definitely a rising joy, anticipation, etc. going on with his passenger.
okay. You know, this might be a better conversation to have when all of you are together, as the other two will have some say as to
I
their
was thinking the
involvement,
same thing.
I presume. So, perhaps I was a bit hasty in stopping by today, but there's a time-sensitive matter, but it could wait another day.
Give him a call.
So, if you would be so kind, I will say, to reach out. I do not know if Samuel or Amber are planning on attending the club this evening. I do know that they are in town. But if you could get in contact with them and set up a meeting for all 5 of us, I think that would be the best way to start at this point.
Agreed. Well, do you have a number that I can call?
Indeed.
I'm assuming that I should not just call. What is the name of the office of the shell company? I'm assuming Amy is assuming that bought this building.
You don't know the name of the shell company, but she hands you a business card that says Eliza Blackstone.
Well, I guess I should say what name is on the rental, the agreement that I clearly have had to have signed at some point.
You signed with the previous owner, so it would not have a bearing on this. But you can make up whatever you'd like for that
Gold
group.
Streets LLC.
Gold Streets LLC, yes. She hands you a card. It says Eliza Blackstone. purveyor of goods. And then the purveyor of goods and no, and purveyor of goods and I'm trying to say how would it be phrased? Purveyor of goods and how would she say it? Sorry. Purveyor of goods
Services.
and sure. Purveyor of goods and services, and the Blackstone Institute is the name of the business. And it's got a Minneapolis phone number, but there's no address.
Oh. Thank you. Zach, could you make sure that Miss Blackstone gets out all right?
Sure. Yeah. No problem. Hey, lady, you want a beer or something?
I'm quite good, thank you.
Right. It's up to you, I guess. And he opens the door and holds it open.
Sure. She walks through and turns back and says, "Perhaps tomorrow, before the club opens, 2:30 again."
If we could make it 1, that would be a lot easier for me. I smiled sweetly.
She looks off a little bit, accessing, her, thinking about her schedule. She says, "I can make 1 o'clock work, sure."
Thank you.
Indeed.
And I make a shooing motion to Zach, kind of like a playful shooing motion, but also get her out of here.
Yeah. He gives her kind of like a joking, exasperated look, but then he does escort Eliza out nicely. It's just sort of chatting her up, but in a sort of automated kind of way. He's not that invested in it. It's just
sure
instinct.
As soon as I hear Eliza's heels sort of clacking, I'm assuming she's wearing heels. I guess I don't.
She is indeed. Yes.
So as soon as I hear them clacking a ways down the little back hallway that because I'm hoping that Zach takes her out the front. That's what I want. Who the hell is she to come in the back? Anyway.
She came in.
And Zach is assuming she doesn't want a tour of his truck, so yeah, he's taking her out the
She came in the front door.
Oh, did she? Okay.
Yeah.
So Amy basically immediately picks up her phone and calls Samuel.
Okay.
And yours, what is your last name again, Dennis? I feel like you always call him Samuel, so I'm still getting used to it.
Vanderwall.
Vanderwall?
Yes.
Okay.
Vanderwall. Get down from the point!
That's a weird last name.
Wow, Amy really, or Amber really took something strong, I guess. I pick up the phone and I call your 80s brick of a cell phone, which is still the coolest technology that any of us have ever seen.
Yeah.
Well, I answer it. Sorry.
Who
Hello.
are you talking to right now? Who on
Mr.
earth would
Mr. Vanderwall?
call you right now?
Amber,
This is
Amber.
Amy Scoville.
1 second, Amy. Amber, go get some food. And I throw her my credit card.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
And a coffee, please.
Okay. Is that it?
Please don't buy drugs right now.
I'm sorry, who's on the phone?
Amy, she
And
wants
I
us.
just take off walking. I run as fast as I can. Just
How may I
hoping.
help you?
Yeah.
Sir, Vanderwall, I apologize for bothering you on your cell phone, but we may have a bit of a problem.
I don't like problems. names.
I don't either, but there is a woman who was just in my office. Certainly has something supernatural about her, who seems to know an awful lot about you and Amber.
Okay, well, Amber gets into trouble all the time. I mean, she's coked out right now, I think. I don't know. But how does she know me?
She was unclear, but she wants to have a meeting with you, Amber, me, and Zach tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Couldn't we do 2:30?
Some of us, Mr. Vanderwall, have jobs.
I mean, I have one. I just
That we do.
don't always have to work it. Sometimes money works for you, Amy. You just I can hook you up with a guy.
Yes,
You
my
and
mother
me.
can hook me up with all kinds of guys.
But
When are you gonna
All
meet a
right.
nice demon and settle down? I want my grandbabies.
Been begging for the Antichrist
Yeah.
for fucking
Yeah.
years. For fucking years.
you hear
Anyway,
that?
Mr. Vanderwall, I would suggest that we find out exactly what she knows and how she knows it. She apparently wants us to do some work, quote unquote, for her.
This lady sounds like she knows my father.
She certainly claimed to know my mother.
Yeah, we need to shut her down. So get her to sign a nice little NDA. Big fan of those. So Amber and I will be there tonight. Usual table. We'll figure out a plan.
Excellent. Sorry to disturb your afternoon, Mr. Vanderwall.
It's fine. I'm just, my Wednesday manicure. It's fine.
And I hang up. I don't know if Zach has come back yet, but I
Have a good day.
I mean, that is up to Zach. The Eliza doesn't try to waste his time or do anything. She chats politely along with him.
Yeah,
On the way
no,
out.
sorry, I would have replied, but there was a train going by very noisily. Yeah, no, I mean, Zach shovels Eliza out, sort of automatically chatting, and then, but he's not, Zach himself is kind of mad at, the bubbling up of emotion, that wasn't the deal. So he's just, he's kind of fine with her moving along. And he comes back to check in with Amy, what do you think that was about?
I have no idea. But the fact
think
that
I
she
have an
knows as
idea.
much as she knows about Samuel and she knows my mother, it can't be anything good. Maybe the money will be something, though.
I know what she was saying about Another America was causing things for me. You know what I mean? Not the good things. You know what I
see.
mean.
Not the rain in the bedroom kind of feeling.
Amy sort of puts out her, finishes smoking her J, because she's not going to let that go to waste. She doesn't have that much money. And then she kind of gets up and goes with Zach, out to the club and says, I don't know too much about that stuff. My mother never really talks about it.
Yeah, I don't know either. I just I'm gonna finish loading up the bar. I got some other stuff to do. I'll be back tonight.
Yeah, and Amy is going to go work out her tension by being extremely micromanagey, I think, probably at the moment.
The boxes that Zach has stacked behind the bar are not stacked in a very orderly way. They're stable, but the corners don't line up. Just There you go. You're welcome.
And I'll go up to Denise and be like, Denise, please remember that only people who have the red VIP armbands can ask for the AB negative cocktail.
Oh my god, like, duh. I mean, yes, boss, or whatever.
My God, duh. I love her so much.
Yes, well, there was one person who got very sick when... Was it Cody? Did Cody serve? Where's Cody?
He's out back, like, having a cigarette or whatever.
I stomp off towards
He's out back
Towards-
losing money to Zach in a pickup poker.
towards the back. But I'm okay with fast forwarding, because until whenever.
You're terrorizing your employees. The club opens. I'm imagining Samuel, at least. I mean, Amber probably gets there whenever she's rolling appropriately. But I would think that Samuel likes to make a grand late entrance.
Normally, yes. But I need to figure out what this woman
Need to
knows
figure out
about
what this
me.
is. All right.
So I'm there as soon as Amber's back with food.
All right.
Wait, where are we going? I just brought this food.
Yeah, we're gonna eat it in the. Fuck it. I'm rich. I don't care. Set it on the table. Grab the coffee. Let's go.
Wait. We're just...
We're going to the bar, darling.
I reach into my to-go box, I grab something out, I throw it in my pocket. Right, okay. I'm just gonna place it right here. And I take my coffee and I follow. Oh
All right.
shit, where is that? Oh, yeah.
Samuel's a rich
Card
bitch.
back.
Yes, he's leaving good food.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to have that white moment in my life where I don't need any of the breakfast that's made and it's all table. And you just grab a coffee and say, running late, gotta go.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. So we'll fast forward to, I'm presuming, maybe close to 4.
Yeah.
And you, Dennis, Samuel, and Samuel and Amber.
Dennis just disappears into that character.
Oh, I know, right?
There's a car. I definitely have a driver.
For sure. Why aren't you letting Amber eat in the? Anyway.
It's
Oh my
fine.
god, why are you letting Amber eat her Juicy Lucy in the car?
Yeah.
I'll get her food whenever we get to the bar. It's fine.
So we're all-
Maybe let
we
me
can-
deliver it.
It's fine, I'm not hungry anyways.
Well, I mean, it's the 80s, so like all you can get delivered is pizza and Chinese food.
Pretty much.
Yep.
I have a driver that will go get it.
That's all right. Fair point. You win this round. Oh, thank you for the subscription, Bandgap. Thank you very much.
And I know the club is under construction. I mean, the map of the club is a little under construction. But one thing I would like to put in there is that there is kind of like it's not a, what would you call it? There's like a second, there's like a mezzanine floor that that fancy people can kind of go up to, and where there are actual like tables, so like you could watch the band, so you're not actually necessarily on the dance floor part of it. Like you can kind of sit there and stare down at it, kind of thing. I feel like that would be here,
That
and that's where
makes sense for
Amy
me.
would, where Amy and Samuel and would meet.
Sure.
Some corner or something.
That works for me. It's early enough too that
It's early too.
the
Yeah,
other
it's early
the
too.
other VIPs aren't there, so you have the whole mezzanine level
Yeah.
to yourself, and the cordoned off VIP section of the mezzanine. Hi, Diesel Shot. Thanks for stopping by. So you are all four together to discuss this mysterious Eliza Blackstone.
Yeah, so I was just standing there. I was just, bringing the beer in, and this broad walks up, and she's all fancy, like, what's she doing here? I brought her in to see Amy, and then she started, talking kind of weird about, like, different America, different England, 15 years, I don't know, some time period. It doesn't matter. She wants to hire us for something. Isn't that right, Amy?
That's right. I got some serious weird vibes from her.
Yeah.
I don't like how much she seems to know about all of us.
You know what this,
Wait, you know something
You know
about
who
me?
probably told her about this? You know who probably told her about this? The wacky twin people. They see everything.
Are you part? Oh my god, are you part of that like care thing? Care air
Look.
thing?
There's things that are just true.
Like okay.
I've been around. I've heard some things.
Let's get to the chase. And as I reach into my breast pocket, like
I was going to say,
reaching
to
out
answer
my
your question,
checkbook-
Amber, yes, she had heard of you as well. She brought you up several times.
Like
Not you. I'm so
what's her
sorry.
name?
It's not you, it's Mr. Mister.
This is her business card.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was all sparkly.
Probably out of my cleavage.
Yeah.
Don't know her. That's a relief.
How much money is this going to cost to make her go away?
I don't know. She talked about paying us. I have a suspicion that money is not going to be an inducement for this person, but I could be wrong.
Oh, that type of okay. I was a little bit lost for a minute there. I thought you were trying to hire a hitman. I was gonna say I know some people. You're probably not gonna like the price though. On top of that, there's too many. Depending the fact that we don't really know this person, it's probably not gonna end out so well.
I think she could offer more than money, if you know what I'm saying. Not that thing. The other, you know what I'm saying.
As you know, Mr. Vanderwall, the management of Pentagram takes a very dim view of people prying into the lives of our patrons. So I'm certainly willing to go that route, but I have a feeling it is going to be very hard to do if she knows as much as she knows about all of us, and she knows my mother. I say with a slight sour face.
All right.
So what's the plan? We are just meeting up and like I don't know how to get it. I'm lost.
I don't, Amber.
Yeah.
And I reach into my pocket, in my breast pocket where I keep my pocket watch, and I pull out a baggie, and I just pour some on the table, and as I'm talking to Amy, I cut up some lines. And I just say, "Here, my dear, we're not killing anyone today."
I'm just saying the last one you put down was kind of warm. So I'm hoping this one I'm gonna let this one sit for a minute. It was a little warm.
It was. We're not killing anyone, Amber, so you don't need to worry.
Like that's super good because like, you know. And I just reached down and I'm like I put it down, I'm like I'm not gonna let it go to waste. I mean, it's expensive. I just put my finger
I
down.
just takes a drink of his beer. It's like his 8th since he got here, so he's not judging. He's
Well,
done driving for the
I-
night. He's got cab money. It's fine.
We're great superheroes, let me tell you. So,
Hey, I said this was a campaign about superheroes in the 80s. Maybe you're the supervillains fighting the superheroes, you know?
Oh,
true.
no.
We don't
Oh,
know where
no.
we're going yet.
I think we should hear what she has to say. You know, I don't think it'll hurt anything.
Well, yes. But what if that goes weary?
Well, based on what I saw of her when she was here, I'm not sure there's much we can do about not liking what she has to offer.
Bring
Could
me
us
down.
four take her, is my question. Maybe not, kill her, but at least knock her out, tie her up, ask her some questions.
Oh, that's getting
I
some
can't
real-
get behind that.
That's getting real kinky right there.
Yeah, there's yeah, that's not okay.
I mean,
Solid.
it isn't okay in some circles, depending on your. Okay, it's not okay. She sees a look and she's like, okay.
Now, what about an NDA? How did she seem about those?
That's a
Like-
good question. I mean, she seemed very professional.
All right. And then I yell, Denise, we need shots.
Here's a question for you. How good of a tipper is Samuel?
Wonderful.
Then she shows up right quick.
And then to meeting Eliza Blackstone.
Meaning Eliza Blackstone.
Yeah, that just says yeah. That's the word.
Meeting Eliza Blackstone.
Clink, clink, and cheers.
I will, Amy. I think the last thing Amy will say to both Zach and Samuel is, both of you know a lot of people in different places. If any of you could maybe ask your contacts before we meet at 1 p.m. tomorrow, if they know of this Eliza Blackstone, that could be helpful.
Already on it. I just like get right into, like, I'm trying to avoid saying things like babe and chick.
Do it.
Because while we were
Do
in
it.
the 80s, we are not in the 80s. And I
Do
know
it.
it's not
I
okay.
mean,
Do it.
I mean, I'm okay with it. I think Amy would be okay with it from Zach.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think
Already
that-
on it, babe.
You got it,
I
dog.
mean, we're talking about Amy, who I'm sure partially hired you because you are pretty. So I don't,
That's
or
true.
that's one of the reasons why she goes through you for certain things, not because you have the cheapest prices.
He doesn't have the cheapest prices.
So should we meet? Well, I mean, of course, everyone's free to circulate tonight as much as they want, but should we agree to meet tomorrow at noon to see if you two have found out anything?
Sounds good to me.
Works
You
for
guys
me.
gonna be up that early?
Wait, what time is it?
She'll
Lose her
be
head
here.
again? Wait.
Noon, there's a 12 p.m. as well as an a.m. Amber.
Oh my.
If she's not
Oh
here
my
by
God.
noon, she will be
It
here.
takes me like an hour to do my hair. You're asking me to get up at what? 10
10. Yes.
a.m.?
Yes.
Isn't it still dark outside for this?
Why don't you just stay up?
And I
Amber, no, they're like, that's a really good idea. Why don't you just stay up?
I mean, you could.
No.
Well, then I guess you're just gonna have to wake up at 10.
Uh, that's be negotiation, right? Technically, she's trying to meet up with us, right? So can't we get like a better time?
I asked for 2:30 and Amy said no.
Why did you say no?
Because having a tense meeting half an hour before we're supposed to open is more than I feel like dealing with.
Can we
Do you
delay
have
it? Can we
assistance for
postpone?
that?
Can we... That's right. Shan snaps her fingers and points to Samuel. Like, don't you have like assistants?
I do, but it's good to keep track of what's happening. And
You say
occasionally there
assistants.
are VIP clients that it's good for me to talk to in person.
Wait, you have other VIP clients? She has other VIP clients?
Apparently, other people can tip and pay more than I do.
Damn, feels bad. Looks back.
Zach just takes a really long drink off his beer while this awkward moment's happening, and he's like looking over his shoulder for someone else to like gab at. So I'm driving down the road. It's 11 p.m. You will not believe what I saw.
Well, sugar daddy, I think your sugar's running out if you're getting chump changed by other people. Just saying. That's a conversation we can have later.
He's backing away now. He's just like, oh, this is empty. I better go.
Can you give me another shot while you're up? While you're up, you know. That'd be great.
Oh goodness, such a handful.
Dirty martini if you're up, Zach, and I wink at Zach.
All right, so we're going into party mode. So should we
Why not?
move on?
I mean, I would be okay with fast forwarding till the next morning, unless there was something in particular you wanted to.
Do I need to roll for my contacts advantage thingy?
That's
To see what I
I
know?
think so. I think it's like an investigation check or something like that. I think,
Okay.
or
Yeah.
persuasion maybe.
I like Well, both of those make sense.
Make an initial. Call in assistance or favors with a persuasion check, or make an admit.
There we go.
Is for connected, and then contacts is make an initial investigation check in 1 minute.
Well, it depends on what you want to do.
I'm gonna not call up Daddy because that'd be bad. But I'm gonna call up Daddy's assistant, obviously. Heather. We'll call her Heather. And ask her if she can get some info and send it over via fax to my apartment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Zach will have already during this previous day and the next day while he's unloading his truck in various locations because he got a shit run and he's got to go to like 10 different places. All partial thing in the back. This rectangular thing. The word escaped my brain. Container. Partial container. It's all partial
There we go.
container. He's gonna do some gossiping here and there on the docks while he's unloading. He also has contacts and connections. So investigation or persuasion. Fine.
Okay. What did you roll for yours, Dennis?
I rolled a dirty 20.
All right. And what about Mr. Brighton?
Good question. My dice are so far away. Oh dear. Okay. That's an 11. So...
Too drunk to call your Fae contacts.
Oh no, he's just talking to normal people about Eliza.
Oh.
What they know about her, the Blackstones, the companies that might be associated with them, why she might be interested in, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
He like got his, like puts the conspiracy tilt to his hat when he says that kind of stuff, But he gets an 11.
Okay. Nobody Zach knows has any information or has heard of. Well, I take that back actually, because I presume you know a lot of like shipping, a lot of
Yeah.
transporting of goods people. So you do hear back that they're not sure about an Eliza Blackstone, but there's based out of England. There's a well-known, a very wealthy, like old money family that owns shipping and receiving company. Why am I not thinking of the correct word for it? Anyway,
Export-import?
Export-import. Thank you. Like real complicated
contagious.
words that you never hear. Yeah.
I can't even tell you. I follow like 6 container company Instagram accounts, and I could not think of the word container. So even though I look at them being moved around for
There we go.
like an hour a week.
Yeah. So they're aware of that and give you that information.
Yeah, I feel like he was just like a little, like the answer was a little too important to him, and it put people off a little bit. Like he was acting weird.
Sure. That makes sense. However, for Mr. Vanderwall, you call. I'm gonna make you go through the call.
Oh, that's fine.
Mr. Vanderwall's office. How may I help you?
How you doing, Heather?
Oh, Samuel, I'm doing great. How you doing?
Doing wonderful. I assume Dad's busy.
A little bit. Are you still with that Amber lady?
She's the love of my life.
She's no good for you. I know there's other ladies out there that'd be real good for you, that are already, that your dad is friends with and knows.
No, I don't like pleasing that man.
That's true. That's true. And she gets real sad at that, but professionally sad at that. So
Anyway.
what can I do you for today?
Well, my dear, can you help me out? I would ask Chester, that lovely Chester that's, supposed to be my assistant, but he's up in New York doing some thing. Let him have his time off. Well, I need some information about an Eliza Blackwood. Maybe going into a business venture together.
And Eliza Blackwood, you say? Okay, I can look into her for
Blackstone.
Oh, I'm.
Sorry.
You almost unintentionally upped the DC level very high. All right, I'll do that. I can look into that for you. Should I call you back on your cellular phone?
No, you can just send it all via fax to my apartment in Minneapolis.
All right. I hear Minneapolis is a lovely town to visit in sometimes.
Yeah, I'm only here for a little bit. I'll probably leave
Sure.
soon.
All right. Well, I'll get that information faxed over just as quick as I can.
Tell Mom I say hi, and I hang up.
Okay. You hang up, and you as you hang up, she's saying, "Of course, I'd be happy to tell her that." And like that's when you like. Well, I guess you press the button because you're on your 80s brick of a cell phone.
The button, and then I do a little tiny thing at the bottom.
Oh yeah, you put the antenna back in.
The antenna
Yeah.
and this little piece of plastic that has no value at all, but it's there to flip it closed over the mouth.
All right, so we will fast
I
forward.
remember when pulling the antenna out was such a dramatic
yeah.
thing.
Can I do one thing real quick? It's just when the
Sure.
band comes out. Because I think Amy introduces the main act probably.
Oh,
Sure.
And I found this great website. So I want to use. So I think she says, "How are all my children doing tonight? Let's see those horns."
Yeah. The
I
Horns
throw an
come-
ice cube at Amy from the mezzanine.
give me a
I knock it
ranged.
out of the- I knock
All
it
right.
out of the air with my whip.
Oh my. The crowd cheers extra loud at that.
Tonight's band, Endless Velvet War.
Is that a burlesque act?
There's a goth band named Generator, so
Oh,
and that was the funniest one to me, so I picked that
there
one.
we go. We'll say it's a female lead singer, like like a Susie Sue sort of things. Given that name, I suppose, and I'm sure Amy. Amy books the best groups possible, but I can also see her.
She's got a lot of slots to fill, so
Yeah.
you know.
Hi-oh.
With
That's also
16
that's
seconds
also
of
very
consecutive motion.
true.
Can confirm.
So
But yes, now
More
I'm
than
done.
the
I just
average
wanted
bear,
to-
if you
Yeah,
know what
sure.
I'm saying.
it's in the. We're gonna fast forward to. It'll be 10 o'clock the next morning because that's when the fax arrives at Samuel Vanderwall's Minneapolis abode.
I want this fax machine to be the reason Amber is woken up because I knew that this would happen. It was her alarm clock.
Does it beep like because it's out of paper and it's like
Yep.
put more paper in?
And it's out of paper because she always grabs it to spit her gum out in. And so she played herself.
Oh,
Well, it just has that awful screeching noise that it does to interpret the data anyway. So
Yeah. So yes, Amy
over
bleary-eyed.
and unplug it.
You
Okay.
do not unplug the fax machine.
I do.
That's what just happened.
I do.
So we will fast forward to 1 and the time for the meeting, unless what is your routine perception there, Samuel?
What do I add to that again? I'm sorry.
It's 10 plus whatever your plus the plus on your sheet is.
Oh, then 16.
Okay. It's you're starting to it's that I don't know how long Samuel takes to get ready in the morning before going to do stuff, but
Decent amount of time. Let's
Sure.
be real.
okay, so it's probably around like 11:30 or something. You think to go
Check on the fax.
check the fax machine, and you very easily see that it's unplugged.
Is Amber in the apartment?
I would imagine
Currently
she
no.
went back to bed. Oh no.
Currently, no. I would say she by the time she kind of crawled her body over, labeling unplugged that thing, she'd have put her head back down and was like, "Oh God, I got the worst headache," and then she probably would have stumbled to the kitchen to get something like to.
Well, I mean,
one,
sure, but
soothe the headache.
The
And then-
kitchen
So
is
you're
still
in
in
the
the
apartment.
apartment, though.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to just, you know, the way that a dad just touches his forehead and then just squints and just oh God damn it, and I'm gonna teleport her to the fax machine. I'm just gonna have the puddle
Can
of
you,
water
in fact,
go
do
below
that?
her. I think I don't think it has to be where I can see. If I know that she's in the apartment, I feel like I'd be able to hear her or something.
All right. You have arcane, right?
Yeah. I think.
Actually,
Yeah. I don't
give
know.
me an investigation check.
Okay, I'll allow that. I don't add anything to
I
that.
will
but
allow
that's
that. Like you
fine.
have some type of choice.
Yeah.
Well, I rolled a 6, so.
Okay. You get nothing shows up in the portal. You guessed incorrectly as to where she was in the place.
Or I just get a pillow because I assumed that she was in bed.
There we go. That works. Yeah. You get a.
I like that.
Is the pillow damp at all? Because it was.
No, you come out dry still.
Okay.
And then I just yell, Amber!
Samuel,
Why is the fax machine unplugged?
we ran out of paper.
Then you put paper in it, Amber.
That's correct, but we're out of paper. You can't put something. I told you that weeks ago that we ran out of paper. And
Well, quit using it to spit out your gum!
well, I can't do it anymore because we've been out of it for weeks. So
Then where are you putting your gum?
I don't know. At least that's something we need to talk about. I made you coffee, and she kind of walks into the room. She's like, "Do you still want the coffee?"
I take the coffee. And I give her a joint.
Wait,
That
I
sounds like a
take the-
fair trade.
I take the joint like really quickly and be like, "Oh, it is gonna be a good day."
Don't forget to share this time.
All right. So you do you plug in the fax
I
machine?
don't have paper.
Oh, I have an
Oh.
idea. I take a big whiff of it and be like, "You know what we could do? I got an idea. I got an idea. There's this really cool place. By place, I mean your next door neighbors probably has a fax machine because you live in a really expensive area, and they probably have one. So we could just knock on the door and ask them for paper, right? That's normal, right? I don't know. I've never talked to your next door neighbors. They're pretty far away.
They're on the other floor.
That's far. That's pretty fucking far away.
Yeah, you have to go down in an elevator to get to them.
Yeah. Like, I'm just saying. Like,
I
we're
don't
used
know
to,
them
there's
since I'm
normally
here
doors
normally
on each-
once a year.
Well, new plan. What if? Let me just follow me on this one. Ready? What if we take your old faxes, turn them the other side, and then put them in? We just have to remember with the mark what side was the new print. Do you have a highlighter? We could do that. Like a bright,
What?
not to this side. Like I'm trying to.
GM. I
Yeah.
know that my spell technically says armory, but like we never really like clarified on if it actually had to be a weapon or not. So could I theoretically make paper?
That's a. Just for the
You can tell
purposes of
me
this,
no.
for the
If you
purposes
tell
of
me
this
no,
right
that's
now.
fine.
Let's just move things along. Yes.
Sure. Yeah, just to move things along. Sure.
Great.
You could have made paper this whole time, and I've asked you for weeks for it. As I
I
take
can't
a big
have
drag,
you killing the environment for your gum, Amber.
she takes another big drag of the cigarette, like okay, and then just blows it up into the air.
And then I put it in the fax machine and wait the hour and a half it's gonna take to print it all.
It doesn't actually take that long. There isn't a whole lot of information, but what is there is interesting. At least, I think so. There's no. I'm paraphrasing. It's. It's written out in like a report thing. There is no record of an Eliza Blackstone until the early 70s, like about a decade-ish ago. when she is granted citizenship in America.
America.
And you know your father is powerful enough to have like access to information from other countries. He's got it. His business is international, so he's got contacts all around the globe. So that's interesting that there's nothing before 1972. However, the Blackstone Institute was a thing in the 1800s, but records are spotty on that. But it seems to have disappeared. It died off around the same time that the Wild West was tamed by what I don't want to say it that way. I meant to say when the West had been settled by the settlers and incorporated into America.
Will Smith movie of Wild Wild West when you
Yes.
said that. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Desperado. Jim West. Oh. So yeah, there's more information about the Blackstone Institute than Eliza Blackstone. But she did she brought it back shortly after getting citizenship in America.
Anything useful she says is like louder than her blow dryer.
I can't make anything of it. Maybe Amy can, but there's more about her institute than there is about her.
Like a penitentiary or
Unclear.
like a she just gets real quiet.
The details are spotty. Ends about the 1800s. It's fun times. Before we leave and go to the bar, though, I do want to run upstairs and like grab a ritual book of some sort. I feel like I might need it.
Just any old ritual book?
One that's kind of about demons. Since
Okay.
Amy said something about demons earlier and knowing her mom, I feel like there might be a connection there.
All right.
Yeah.
You grab the tome and then you guys get in the car to head over there
Yeah.
to the club, as the children
You know,
say.
I haven't seen like people are actually up at this hour, like pretty commonly. Like, do you see how many people are out?
Ember, I get a lot done before you wake up most of the time.
Yeah, but you don't leave the apartment.
Well, I can do a lot of things from here.
Well, I never said you couldn't, but look how many people are out.
Yeah. The world's a fun place when you're, awake.
I was like,
All right, you're pulling up to the club at this time.
wow, this place looks completely different in the morning.
It's noon, you said?
Well, the
Yes.
meeting's at 1. So
Okay.
I'm presuming
we're
you're getting
getting
there
there just-
sometime before 1.
Yeah.
Amy wanted us all
Oh,
there,
you guys
dude.
are getting. Gotcha.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Denise,
Do you think
can
that
you
we
put a
get
little
breakfast?
Irish cream in my coffee? I'll meet you upstairs.
There's already
Uh,
Bailey's. in it.
Denise
How much
actually
more do you
isn't there.
want?
Yeah, Denise isn't there.
I figured Denise would be here by now.
I told you it looks different right now.
Amy, I can't pour my own Baileys.
Amy comes out of her office, I think. Well, actually, who gets there? Zach, do you get there before these two? I feel like that seems likely.
You know, just barely. He just like, what season is it? Are we in summer or winter?
We'll say it's spring.
Okay, yeah. He comes in, he's kind of like shaking his jean jacket, trying to decide if like it's warm enough in here to take it off, and he just like settles it back on himself. And all right, I'm here at noon. Got my truck empty finally.
Amy's gonna go behind the bar, so I think when Samuel and Amber she'll have unlocked the door at like noon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zach will be sitting at the bar. After
And
making
Amy
his
will be
entrance.
behind the bar, I think.
Yeah.
And so, what do you want, Mr. Vanderwall?
I just put my coffee cup on the table, on the bar, and then I slide over the files about Blackstone.
And Amy, who does not tend a lot of bar herself, I think pours like almost as much coffee as in your coffee cup. She pours that much Bailey's in it because she is a demon, and she needs a lot of alcohol to feel any effect from it, I think, at all.
That tracks.
And I think she'll just like stand on the the one side of the bar while other people sit at it. And so what is the file? The file says, what does she get from it? That there's no record of Eliza Blackstone before 1970, 71 or 70, something like
Yeah,
that.
1972. I mean, it's not early 70s. You know, not long ago.
But there's a record of the Blackstone Institute, you said, from
In the
The
1800s.
1800s. But there's no record of like any other Blackstone related to Eliza.
This is all that I could get.
You didn't have a chance to check out Gold Streets LLC, who technically now owns this building, did you?
No, because you didn't tell me to.
Gold Streets is the company that owned it before. I see why you did that now, though. Yeah, I misunderstood what you were asking.
I see.
Yeah. It would actually be Watchtower.
Watchtower? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I could be wrong, but I'm sort of guessing that Eliza has like the Blackstones have all kinds of weird companies that they purchase things through because they are
Sure.
an interplanar company that does a lot of wheeling and dealing. So I'll say, how about Watchtower Inc.?
It would have been nice to know that yesterday.
I pull down my sunglasses and look over them with since I'm agitated, my red coat-slitted eyes, and I say, don't you have a brick of a telephone that you could call somebody on? Mr. Vanderwall.
Take a swig of the strong-ass coffee.
I can almost read that this is going over super great. But I just wanted to know, like, with her gigantic sunglasses on because it's super bright outside, she's not normally used to that. And she's I think the custom is eat breakfast at this time.
I had
understand
breakfast 6 hours ago, honey. Where were you?
I didn't know it was there was a time frame that I was supposed to be here. I believe it was 12. Why would you eat 6 hours earlier?
Breakfast? Breakfast happens 6 hours earlier than lunchtime.
Can we get lunch? And I know we have some serious conversations here. Nice.
Zach pulls over pulls over like a sandwich, a long sandwich that he had with him. I don't know what your regional term is. I don't care. And he like
Wow.
unwraps and offers Amber half of it. It will just drift away, and I'll feel embarrassed for saying it. Offers Amber half of his sandwich.
She takes half of the hoagie.
Yeah.
Do you mean submarine sandwich?
Do you mean a po' boy?
A poor
It's
Ooh,
an
I
Italian
love
here,
poor
okay?
boys. Oh, I love poor boys. And she kind of like takes a bite out of it. What is it? What kind of sandwich is it?
It's roast beef with like hot radish
oh,
and
it's
lots of
the
onion.
best fucking
Is it
type
from
of
the
sandwich.
bodega?
And it's got like really good tomatoes in it.
Is it today's roast beef sandwich or yesterday's roast beef sandwich?
Oh, he got it on the way here.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he did actual physical labor all morning. This is a substantial sandwich.
So she
It is delicious.
She eats it and she immediately says, "Okay, like never mind. Keep going your conversation."
I
Totally.
wink at Zach taking care of Amber.
He's also eating the sandwich. The other half.
Lady in the Tramp style.
Well, it's cut in half. You can't eat a sandwich that isn't cut in half.
Amy takes off her glasses and rubs the bridge of her nose and says, I'm sorry, Samuel. Fuck it. I don't... Whatever she wants, she wants.
Well, let's not give in.
It sounded like she can offer us a whole lot in the supernatural department if we were to need something.
It is true. It's true. I mean, what was her name again?
Eliza.
Eliza, yes. Eliza. I was paying attention. But if there's not much to talk about her, like, why should we seriously be worried, right?
It's
It little
normally
makes-
the ones that you don't know about that you should be worried about.
I would
Like, that
just
makes
say it's
sense,
always
too.
a little-
That makes
it's
sense,
always
too.
a little nerve-wracking when people know a lot more about you than you do about them.
I mean, like, I guess.
I guess we're gonna find out soon enough. I guess.
Like, is she like nice at least about it, or like is she like, haha, I know something you don't know, like situation, or is it?
I know something you don't.
Like, I know that's why I
feel
like that
Amy
song
does.
too.
Amy does like a weird eye exchange with Zach. Like, what did you think?
She's a businesswoman. Very businessy. Shoulder pads, little tie. You know,
That's not a
tall
tie.
shoes. I mean, not like Amy tall shoes, like businesswoman tall shoes. Nice ass, I guess.
She is quite attractive. She has
Yeah.
the attractive 2 advantage.
My mom
Otis
used to
Dennis.
tell me that the higher the heel, the closer to God. So like, if she seems like it checks.
It just takes
Which
up a part of a sentence.
god are we talking about, Amber? There's more than one.
Well, like, if she's got any God on her side, do we want to really be fickle? Takes another bite of her own
I
sandwich.
definitely was getting demon off of her, so
She kind of chokes a
I
little
like-
bit for a moment, and she's
I
like,
kind of
"She
do one of
thinks
I do one of
Lucifer?"
these things, like indicating that I like could smell it on her.
Oh.
What does demon
You sh-
smell like?
You shouldn't be smelling strangers, Amy. We've talked about this.
It's such an easy way to tell if they're prey or predator.
What do
Sometimes
I smell
it's
like?
creepy.
you,
I better smell like
I just get
Chanel
kind of a wicked
95.
smile at the creepy, at the appellation of creepy.
yeah, when Amber's like, "What do I smell like?" Zach actually does a little like nose wrinkle, like, and then he just ignores the question.
I better smell like Chanel 95. I spent good money on that.
I mean, that's certainly one of the smells, and it definitely takes up a big chunk of the smelling real estate.
Oh, that's good. What a relief. That's expensive.
It is getting, you're about
When
15
you-
minutes
when you-
out of
when you go through
1A.
a bottle a day, I'm assuming it would be.
Of 1 in the afternoon. She's gonna be here in about 15 minutes.
What?
Just
Any
saying,
of
time's
your
passing.
employees come in
Wait.
before 2?
If she knows about us, like she says she knows about us, what if we stage a trap? Not like a super obvious trap, like physical trap, but like a proof that she knows us so much. Why don't we have people step in for me and Samuel and see if she recognizes us? Because obviously she's gonna recognize you because you guys agreed with who you are. But what if we like have someone else step in and say, this is Samuel and this is Amber, and see if she goes with it? If she goes with it, it may be something that she obviously doesn't know everything she thinks she knows. Then it would be us saying, ha 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 ha. You don't know everything you think you know.
The genius behind that.
It does seem like a pretty good idea. There's also
I look
not
over
enough
and
time
say,
to find
minutes.
anybody. Yeah.
I mean, is there anybody here yet? Because, it's getting close to 1. People are probably showing up. I would
Work?
guess.
No.
2 hours before y'all open, your associates show up?
No.
Who's
Not
the
unless you make
custodian?
food.
What about the
Not unless you make
custodian?
food.
Yeah. No, I'd imagine, like you said, you open at 3. I'd imagine they don't get there till probably 2 at the earliest.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're just sitting around and we're waiting.
well,
Okay.
don't you have a driver, Samuel? You can just have the driver come in and replace you.
That is true.
I mean,
Samuel is
true.
very distinctive. And Zach is in a wink.
thank you. I'm much hotter than my driver.
I have no doubt about that, but I'm imagining your driver is probably a very handsome man on his own, by his
Right.
own right. I mean, I have no doubt that you are handsomer, but I would think you'd want a little bit of.
Eye candy every once in
Eye
a while.
candy
that's
around.
right.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Not that you're looking at him.
No,
because
he
they're
doesn't have
100%
advantage.
straight.
He doesn't have attractive 2, I'm sure.
I'm
Maybe
just saying
attractive
for
1
right now,
or just regular
maybe-
handsome.
Maybe we put some sunglasses on him and he comes in and he sits down for a minute. And if she agrees with it, then we already know, and we let you walk in, surprise, surprise, and then
I'm down.
Shrug.
Shrug.
You swap out.
Alright.
You swap out. What is Samuel? Where is Samuel? Why the?
Because Amber would know that I feel like all of them would, but I would be in the car in the driver's seat, but I would be not scrying, but I feel like they would have a glass of water there that I could look through.
well, that and it'd be super perfect too, because if you're outside, you can see her vehicle pull up and you can get a
Also
license
true.
plate. I'm sorry, I just haven't had any alcohol or drugs in my system, so my brain is working on a weird level right now. If we could fix that after this whole scenario, that'd be great.
Sounds good.
I think it's like she's getting some of these plots and plans from stuff that she's seen by touching other people. Like the memories of
Yeah,
really
that
bad
makes
shit
sense.
going down.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds like a plan to me.
I throw Amber a
I'm always
baggie
up for
though
a bit
before I
of
walk
roleplay.
outside.
I catch it.
All right. So you get. Oh my goodness, Samuel. I keep wanting to call Samuel Dennis. You get Samuel sitting in his own car in the driver's seat.
Which is weird. I have to adjust it and everything
Yeah.
because I've never done it.
That's so rude.
That is like super rude. I
and
agree.
what is your driver's name? Maybe Amber.
But
would
Samuel
know
now.
better.
I would say Jonathan.
Mark.
Oh,
It's
Mark.
definitely one of the marks that signed an NDA.
All right. All the more reason for him to be handsome then.
Mhm.
Sure. All right. So you're, where are you all setting up to have this meeting? Is it going to be Amy's office or?
I think it'll be up. I think it'll actually be up on the mezzanine sort of level again. Partly because Amy will have drinks, and so we can do the water thing, and it won't look quite as out of place.
Sure. I will
Um,
say your driver might have a bottle of water in the car, but you
I mean,
definitely
we-
could have brought something out too from the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You got-
I mean that's
you
what
got time
that's
to
what
do
Amy's
that.
going to do. Yeah, that's what Amy's going to do.
Yeah.
Is have a glass of. In fact, she'll probably just have a glass of water that she's claiming is her own glass of water.
Sure.
And what would Samuel be drinking right now, so we can make sure that Mark has the right drink.
Ooh. Dirty.
Normally he drinks whiskey when other people are walking by that don't know him, but if people know him, he drinks a dirty martini. So like, being that we don't want this person to like know anything, it's totally going to be whiskey on the rocks. And then she's slowly putting powder down as quickly as possible, be like I need to
I love this so much.
Just a little toot to get through the meeting. That's all I need. Just a little toot.
a little bit
It's out in the car, out in his car. Samuel sees a Rolls Royce, a nice, shiny black Rolls Royce. Pulls up. Since it's Samuel, he would know it's a newer model. I'm sure he may not be a car guy, but it's a rich person's car.
It's money.
For sure. And Eliza steps out, drove herself there. Is dressed, it's a new day, so wearing a new outfit, but still the same, just raven black hair, piercing green eyes, and just in another 1980s businesswoman type outfit.
Nice. Power suit.
Power suit. She does have a preference for skirt suits. And she strides in.
skirt suits. Perfect.
Yes.
Amy will meet her, I think,
Okay.
at the
Waiting
door.
by the door.
Yep. And I think Amy is kind of wearing the outfit that we had talked about, Natalie, where she's got like a sport coat over
Sure.
her outfit, so it's a very weird combination of
It's corporate rock and roll, baby.
corporate rock and roll, baby. Yep.
Yeah. Miss
We're
Scoville.
meeting up on this. We're meeting up on the second level.
All right. Please lead the way.
Oh yeah, I do.
Okay. You walk up there. Do you have a seat for? I mean, I imagine you have a seat for her.
Yep.
She'll sit down, and
Would you like something to drink?
a water would be delightful. I don't know who this gentleman is. Motioning to Mark.
This is Samuel. Like, he's been through a lot, and he's going through a phase right now. He's trying to find himself, and and she like leans in and she whispers, like, "Don't be so hard on him. He's having a hard enough time,
Sure. Give me deception
Okay.
or deception.
Can I aid?
Sure.
Sure.
I love
Like a
how
team-
Amber's
a team-
like leaning in with her like onion and like
Onion,
Like
she brushed her teeth.
blood-scented breath from the sandwich.
Oh, blood scented.
So on a team check, I can roll against a DC of 10.
And if you succeed your DC of 10 roll, then you are helping.
Then I give a circumstance bonus to Amber on her deception check.
All right, a circumstance bonus.
I think it's
Okay, so it's like a
one success
minus...
for a +2, and then three
And then-
successes for a +5, and
Okay.
a failure is a minus is a -2, I think.
Okay.
Well, actually, or you could roll this too if you don't want me to know if Eliza finds Amy attractive or not.
Ooh.
Because it's a +2 if she doesn't, a +4 if she does.
Gotcha. She is a straight lady, so she might appreciate your beauty, but she's not
Okay.
attracted
Cool.
to you.
Okay. So 13.
So you're giving a +2 then?
Yes, I think that's
Okay.
how that works. Yep.
Yeah, because that'll be one
Yep.
1 degree
And so
of
like
success.
I'm like nodding along sympathetically is kind of like what I'm doing while I'm
Sure.
just like
That makes
relaying the
a
sad
lot
story.
of sense.
It doesn't add anything to my roll, right? Correct.
Yeah,
Or-
+2.
Yeah, you get a +2.
+2. Okay, then it's a 20.
Okay.
I rolled, and I got 18 plus, or I got a 14 plus 4 is 18 plus the 2 is 20. I mean, it's gonna probably be really high to dupe someone like her, but it's still pretty good. It's
It is pretty good indeed. And she furrows her brow a little bit and takes a better look at Mark. Thinks for a second. My problem is that she's seen pictures,
Oh well, in that case, like, there's
but
no
she does.
point in-
I mean, she'd like, yeah. Well, but I mean,
But now she
Well,
has cause
here's-
for concern for Amber and Amber's
Yes.
delusion.
exactly. How not sober are you, dear?
like I'm the most sober I've been in fucking weeks, to be honest.
I believe that. However,
Like,
this
has
is
been the
very
worst morning in my life.
well. I'm sorry to hear that. However, this is very much not Samuel Vanderwall.
Like, how so? Like,
Mark, could you go get Samuel? Thank you. Feel free to finish the martini, or no, the whiskey.
Mark, you can't drink and drive. And I reach over and I grab the whiskey. You're
He lets you take it because you're right, and he's a professional. The Vanderwalls pay very very well. He's not fucking up this job, especially because he only has to drive the rich kid around once a year.
she takes the whiskey. She slips something into his pocket. Give me like a little napkin or
Sure.
note.
Give me a stealth roll. I'm assuming by the use of slips that you're
Yep.
trying to, at least Eliza, to not notice.
What is stealth? +2, 15, so 17? I mean, it's not bad.
It's not
Not
bad.
great.
It's good enough. It's good enough to force me to have to roll to beat it. So, but I do. She also doesn't say anything.
Perfectly fine. And the note is basically that says, "Hey, it didn't work. She knows. Be prepared."
Okay.
It's just kind of like a heads up with the same time to be able to emotionally get set for that. Because she feels like as much as Samuel is all together, Samuel's an anxiety ball of stress when someone knows too much and may not sign paperwork.
Sure. All right.
I will say that as Mark is going down and as we're maybe making small talk, I would like Amy to pick up the glass of water that Samuel was using as a focus, and I will put it right under my nose so that he's looking right up my nose.
Sure. Samuel, your scrying was working up until Eliza met Mark. And then it suddenly stopped.
Could have been taking notes too on the car and everything and the license plate.
You're muted.
I'm gonna say that I did. I definitely took notes on the car. I did.
Sure.
What was the license plate again, Natalie?
I'm not gonna make up a license plate for you, but it's easy enough. It's easy enough for you to write it down. It's not like vanity plates or
ABL
anything.
214.
There we go. Sure.
I have zero idea what was said, so we're just gonna go with that.
ABL 214. It doesn't matter. You know, you have it written down. You know what it is, but it doesn't.
Solid. Wonderful.
doesn't
I like that idea.
Yeah. And Mark comes out.
Does he give me the note, or do I just instinctively know to go into his pocket?
I don't believe he knows. Actually, I'm not gonna add any pluses or minuses because there's no character sheet for Mark. What did you have? I think you had a 16 for your stealth.
16 or 17?
17.
17. He does not notice, so he does not say anything to you about it.
I would say we've done this multiple times.
I'm fine with that. Yeah. So you didn't know to at least ask.
As much as we are besties and I'm your cover, I think that we're pretty tight.
That makes sense to me. I'm not gonna.
This bond we have. So I lean in actually as I walk up to Mark, and I'm gonna give him a little bit of false hope every now and then. I look around, I notice no one's there, and I give a little squeeze on the butt cheek as I reach in his pocket and take the note.
He lets out a little happy sigh.
And then we part ways because, can't be seen near him because I'm not gay. So, yeah.
He'll as you're pulling away, he'll say, "Should I be available tonight, sir?"
No.
Oh.
I'll call you.
Oh, okay. And he'll go and sit in the car and get his crossword magazine out because it's the 80s and there's no cell phone to... Even if he had a cell phone. I mean, there's probably a car phone, but it doesn't have any games or apps on it.
He's doing the crossword in the strip.
Yeah. That's the Star Tribune for you non-Mipples people.
Mm-hmm. Gonna add some verisimilitude to this.
Yes. Indubitably.
So I walk into the bar, like, what up, I got it. Sorry. Yeah, so I walk into the bar.
Okay. And I'm you know where they're sitting, so I presume you go up there. After probably grabbing yourself another drink. Yeah.
I mistake. I begrudgingly make my own downstairs, and I do it loudly.
It's just some ice and pouring things into a glass. I assume you're going to go for a whiskey.
There's a lot of sliding the glass along the bar top and loudly dropping the ice in and sighing.
I even drop a glass actually, just on purpose.
Wow.
Like you can tell that Samuel's coming now. She says, taking off her sunglasses.
Amy will also take off her sunglasses after Mark leaves because it's there's nobody else in here besides people who know or should probably know at this point.
At this point, she will say, I understand why you tried the deception. However, it was very dangerous, because as far as I understand, the driver is not privy to things.
Look like he signed it. Wait, depends on what you're talking about.
She'll,
It's like raises an eyebrow and
this
be like,
is when
and then
I
she
teleport up.
What's your...
She immediately starts going. I mean, like, we've done a lot of things in the car before.
What's your insight?
Teleport range? Oh, my insight?
No, Amber's insight.
My God, that was a natural 20.
Okay, I will. Yeah, that'll definitely be good enough, even if you don't have any pluses
A 6.
for it.
So
Then that
26.
is super duper good enough. She quirks an eyebrow and is not aware at what you might be getting at.
She like the second
She's
Samuel would
intrigued.
appear,
She knows there's something
just-
now.
She
but,
just
yeah.
she just lunges at Samuel and is like, darling, like it's so good to like have you here because I missed you so much. And she gives like the back of her head to Eliza, but the front of her head towards Samuel to be like, she doesn't know, like to not to say it out loud, but the facial
Sure.
expression that says, shut your fucking mouth and you won't have to have any paper signed.
All right.
I really hope you have a whiskey and not a fucking martini.
It is a whiskey. It's a whiskey. Because I don't know Eliza, even if she know me.
True. All right. Well, now that that's all sorted out, Mr. Vanderwall, if you'd like to have a seat. She'll
to the
motion
chase,
she'll
and I
motion to
sit
Mark's
down.
chair.
To
Of
Mark's
course.
chair.
Of course. Well, as I was discussing yesterday with Ms. Scoville and Mr. Brighton, the four of you are an intriguing combination, and one that I might find useful to contract out for things. All of us.
Yeah, you
have-
said you know some things about my friend.
I know very little about your friend specifically, but I know that you have a friend. I also
What
know
exactly would we be doing?
a variety of things, and perhaps the best place to start is to why I require services from people such as yourselves. Well, ourselves,
Amy
really.
will say, perhaps it would make us a little less nervous if you would put us more on an even footing with who you are and why you know us and how you know us.
Also, is your institution a prison or is it like a school?
If you don't mind, she'll say, looking at Amy, she'll turn and say, my dear, it's more of like a school.
She just kind of like think there's a little small relief that goes across her face, like that's good news.
And
That's
she'll-
good news.
She smiles at you and then turns. Apologies, Miss Scoville, that I just knew that one would be a little quicker to answer and cause our young friend over there to pay better attention. So, as I began saying yesterday, this plane has a twin, an inverse land mass, where what we know as oceans or bodies of water over here are land masses on the other side of the coin, as it were, to this natural side, populated by, well, largely by humans. But there are those of us that know of and have contact with the other side of the veil that separates these two sides of the coin, as it were, which we'll call the preternatural realm for the other side. And I am here on this side of the veil as the advanced team for Watchtower Incorporated. You see, the veil is weakening. Part of this is by design, and part of it is, well, the systems to keep the veil strong from one side are large, and it's been long enough now that the groups that have in control are seeing less and less a point of maintaining its strength. And that means more and more folks on this side will have their awakenings for what they're capable of doing. And they'll realize that the things that go bump in the night and that they consider fantasy, for good and bad, are real. We would like to find people who are awakening to these realities ahead of society at large to help guide them. It can be very dangerous. And she's very good at addressing everybody, but she is very much that it can be dangerous line is very much with, like, not accusatory, but like feels kind of bad, specifically toward Amber.
Yeah, I would say that also at that Amy is doing a huff to see if there to detect specifically if there are any like changes in the kind of, for lack of a better term, pheromones Amber is putting out.
There is an illusion that is sort of slowly filling the darker corner of the mezzanine we're on, in the corner that Zach is in, and it's just like very faintly strobing fireflies, and the miasma that it's in is just kind of getting larger and larger very gently, but not in a dangerous way, and just sort of like a way that he's not aware of, because he's just sitting in a chair, like kind of propped up on a nearby table. Sure. And he's got his arms crossed. He's just like staring at Eliza through his sunglasses.
Does Amber recognize this? She's specifically more angled towards Amber.
It's just more that like her attention lingers on Amber during that portion of the sentence.
Like insight that, like
absolutely.
Yeah, she's specifically saying it can be dangerous.
I mean, this could be a routine check too for you. Will probably be sufficient because she's not trying to be cagey or anything about it.
So
but what did you roll?
18. I have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 24.
Sure.
Not bad. Much better than that.
You know, well, I guess I can't remember if it was covered at the beginning or not, but it was. You did cover it. You know, you mentioned how stealing the she's getting at, like, you know, yeah, your powers surprised you, so there was a time. Who knows how? Well, you know, Amber knows how poorly or well it went. I guess the first time, but it doesn't seem. It seems like Eliza knows that it probably wasn't like the best time for you. You know, scary and all that stuff. So there's, just a little bit of sympathy and stuff. Like, not that she exactly knows what you've gone through, like with discovering your power, but she's familiar enough. It's very much a kindred sort of like,
I got you. She kind of relaxes a little bit, even though the first the stare was a little. She is definitely a little bit worried. I would say her father at home is very much one of those type of people that would, like, if you've seen oh god, the Mutants, the new one, the horror one, definitely probably would be the type to easily drop off Amber at an insane asylum, and that's probably why she took like real quick fear of what type of institution. So I mean that checks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Little concern.
So I'm hoping this has answered your concerns.
And out of curiosity, what kind of access would we have to the preternatural world?
Well, most anybody can. Those that know, anyway, whether they have powers or not, can access it on the solstices fairly easily on their own.
I quirk an eyebrow at her, and I don't know, this might be... I'm creating some lore here, so I hope it's okay.
Sure.
But I feel like part of the reason why the defenses were have been put up and maintained is that it helps keep the demons out of the preternatural side, of the reflection side at least, if not other dimensions.
It helps a little, but it is. I'm fine with that, but it is largely because of the war,
right?
Which I know is. Don't worry, listeners. We'll get to
that. So like Eliza, who's doesn't have a super strong demonic influence, is probably doesn't have much trouble, but Amy actually would probably have more trouble crossing over to the other side.
She would have more trouble, but I think Amy would be aware that if she's gonna do it, that's the solstices are probably
right. But I think she's very curious about what kind of, I think for her own personal reasons, and I think that Eliza and her would know what Amy is putting down, what kind of extra access does this give me to places that demons generally have trouble getting to. A little bit of is this something that is a you're holding out to me as a potential incentive for signing up for this little project?
It wouldn't be. Sorry, go ahead. Do you have something, Dennis? Or I think you're yelling at Mister.
Oh, I yawned. I'm sorry. I didn't know
that's
it picked
okay.
me up.
Are we keeping you awake? I'm sorry.
No, it was on accident.
I'm just kidding. Well, the access that you get from me would depend on, well, I should say us. The access that you would get from us would depend largely on your continued working with us, although it wouldn't take too long.
Who's us?
Well, I'm here. I have the Blackstone Institute, which is its own thing. However...
So,
And would we be able to visit this Blackstone Institute? I certainly wouldn't want to be sending people like our young friend Amber here to some sort of school that I did not approve of.
It will be quite easy for you to visit it once I finish having it constructed, as it is in the neighboring building. We actually,
That's
well,
like
we own
super
the-
convenient.
we own the block. However, yes?
You're building a school near a satanic club?
Yes. However,
Isn't there regulations on that?
Not yet. It's the 80s.
there would be a concern. I know that there is this. It's got a clever name. What is it? Satanic Panic, I believe. Movement that is gaining ground. However, this is not. This is not a school that operates out in the open.
Okay.
And it's also, well, there will be children involved in learning at the school, but I can assure you that the proximity to a club such as this will not be scary or out of the norm for the students of the Institute. She quirks an eyebrow at you as if to say, is that good enough for you?
Worries me that there might be children in here.
It worries you that there might be children in the club?
Yes.
That is not something I
You've
have
seen Amy.
control over, but I would imagine that Amy is also against this. And I own the
Yes.
building, but this is not my club, and there are certain rights that Amy has as the renter.
I mean, it is the 80s. Shouldn't be this concerned. Children were riding around in cars with no seatbelts and going into bars and buying cigarettes for parents with just a note. So, honest.
It was a wild, beautiful time.
Didn't even need the note until like 85. So
Yeah.
you know.
I think Amy though is sort of like, I have enough heat on me without allowing people under 18 in here.
Of course.
That's why I like it here.
In her sort of talk about why we shouldn't be worried about this setup and how much they own the block, can I suss out that Eliza and Eliza's organization basically has so much money that even Samuel can't really grasp the amount of money that they have and are able to spread around to make things like zoning problems go away? A better way of putting
What's
it.
your routine insight?
15?
With what she said and like her
And
business
14 on
card
business.
and what she's said, it's not going to be like they're not going to be running ads like for the school. You're imagining that part of the job will be you guys contacting the students and letting them know that the school is an option. Would be a very easy leap for
So many children are gonna call me Captain Rainbow because
for Amy to make.
Well, I'm certainly intrigued, and you said it pays as well.
Indeed, it does. Should we move on to salary negotiations, or are we still have questions about the prospect
That
first?
requires my lawyers and a different crew. So,
So, like, what happens if we decide to quit?
Well, then you would no longer work for Watchtower Incorporated.
no. I'm in a non-compete contract with my father.
I can assure you, your father has no business like we are doing.
So you do know the man.
I'm aware of your father. I've never met him.
Great. Let's keep it that way. And I'll be
Sure.
glad to help out.
I say, and will we have any? I mean, I am perfectly happy to fly by the seat of my spandex pants, but will we get any training on how to approach these people and what to do if they say, do not take our interference in their lives well?
If I had any idea how to train one to do that, I suppose, yes. However, I'm a bit at a loss, as you would be the first group doing this sort of work that I'm aware of.
Amy actually relaxes a little bit at that. And says, I see there's some chaotic demon buried in there after all.
Telling people's the simple part, Amy. I mean, you're hanging out, you're having a good time, you may or may not have your clothes on, you know how it is. And all of a sudden, like, oh my god, there's wings. And they're like, yeah, I mean, and then you're just like, wow, you got superpowers. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of do. Is that cool? And you say, yeah, of course you do, because what's the worst that can happen? I mean, you wake up in your truck 2 days later. It's fine.
Indeed, that is.
Amber was following
It's-
up until the drunk part.
Yeah, and then, it's easy to tell people.
Generally not advisable for the waking up in your truck reason.
Look, I'm working on it.
Fair.
That's how Zach and I met.
It was a
I
rough
thought-
morning.
I thought free truck. And then he woke up.
Oh, Rosary Rambler's mine for the life of that engine. Got a lifetime guarantee on it.
All
Paid
right.
Paid a pretty penny.
Like, I don't want to impose, but most people who are like going through some stuff, most of the time just want to be known what they're going through. It's a lot scary if you don't know what it is and you're having to suffer through it alone. So that's like, dang.
Every other week I wake up with a new thing that I don't know why I'm doing it.
We are hoping,
Yeah.
Amber, that is how the majority of folks that you would approach would view it. I would like to note that won't be the only sort of thing. There'll also be locating objects, potentially artifacts, as it were.
I'm gonna be honest. Was Indiana Jones out in this time period yet? Have we did the
Yeah.
80s yet?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So we're gonna be like Indiana Jones.
Raiders is definitely out. At this
Temple of
point in
Doom
time.
is both Raiders and Temple of Doom would have been out, I think, at this point. Temple of Doom came out in '84.
Yeah, well, it'd be like maybe it's playing in theaters sort of thing.
Yep.
Later.
So Samuel
it
could
would be
easily
on
compare
everybody's
it.
mind for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it does work with some of the things that I've been doing here. So yes, salary and benefits.
Indeed,
Are you unionized?
we are not.
What is a big time for the unions? I'm just saying.
Sure, if you wish to unionize, that will be your business. You will be the first. Well, I suppose technically I am the first employee, but you will be the first after myself.
Like, who's your boss?
Well,
Who's
we view
paying
it
your
more as a
check?
partnership, but the signer of my checks is Sebastian Varga.
Sebastian.
Apparently.
And why aren't we meeting him?
Well, since we're this far, I think I can share. He is a half-elf. And while he can glamour his ears to be hidden, rather, more correctly, to not be pointed at the end,
A half elf like Spock?
he's from that it's a character from the television program, the one in space.
Yeah, he had a human mother and like a Vulcan dad. It was weird.
It is
They
very
really explained
similar.
it.
Very similar to that, yes.
Yeah.
Is
Is he also the logical one?
That's what he said.
I would suspect I'm a little more of the logical between the two of us. He is the Prince of El Dorado. She lets
The
that
city of gold.
hang. She's not sure how any of you will respond to that, so she lets it hang. Yes, the city of gold.
Amy just raises an eyebrow and says, "That's real?"
I
It
would like to
is.
go there, please.
I feel
I'm
like
sure
this is the
that's-
time that Zach pulls a folded up National Enquirer out of his back pocket and slaps it on the table, and there's like a headlight of an El Dorado on it. That place.
I pick up the magazine and start flipping through it.
El Dorado, Atlantis, Shangri-La, all of these places are real. They're just on the other side of the veil.
Is it true that, according to this article, Goldschlager is gold in El Dorado? Is that correct?
Like, it's gold now too, but it's just like less gold.
Yeah, but pure gold apparently is what it says here. They somehow ferment it? Is that right?
I believe a little bit of your information is mixed up. There is Goldschlager in El Dorado. It is manufactured there.
Interesting. Well,
Indeed. So, yes, we can go.
if you can import some of that for me, that would be...
I can put you in contact with people that I don't usually do things like booze, but I suppose we could work that into our arrangement.
Excellent. This is working out better for me all of the time.
So sexy when you're scheming. When you're
So-
just scheming.
Just a second. Sorry. I'm looking up really quick what the minimum wage was in 1984.
Oh, good lord.
No, I'm. She's not going to be giving you a low number. I just want to know.
Somewhere around 3.
It is.
Yeah.
It's $335, which in today's dollars, well, in $96, $1996, which is what I found has. It's 506. Anyway, so 338 or 335 is the minimum. She says we can offer you $20 an hour plus a per diem of $500 each while you're on the job, of course.
See, and what kind of equipment access do we get?
Equipment access? I suppose I could procure things that you would need on a permission basis.
Excellent. My understanding is that organizations like this often have some sort of badge that they wear.
You know, honestly, we hadn't considered that. At this point
Is
in
it
time,
going to be a big W? Are we going to be the watchman?
No. We can work out something like that. It won't do you much good, at least for now, because it'll be meaningless to anybody that sees it. But once, well, I guess once we do start building a name for Watchtower Inc. On this side of the veil, then I suppose that would be very helpful. So we are all
One
on
more
board for this?
question.
Of course.
One more question. We're not going to have to work with Hellboy, are we? That guy's a real douche.
No, he's... Well,
He is, though.
it depends on how friendly the government is to us once they are aware that we exist. If there are no other questions... She keeps looking directly at Amy for that.
Well, I assume that you have some sort of contract that we'll all get to look at.
Indeed.
Like, do we get like a bonus for how many people we turn in?
Turn in seems a
Wait, let's
potentially
not-
biased
She knows what she
kind
said.
of phrase.
We're not looking for you to capture people. We're looking for you to meet with them and tell them that there is help available.
Like, so is there a bonus for however many go to the school? Like, let's say we get like a referral bonus or whatnot. Is that what you want to call it? Does that make you feel better?
Do we get a percentage based on how many
It's
of our students?
Not
graduate?
about how I feel, it's about how I do not want people to be abducted and brought to me. That's not what I'm asking for.
Oh, like, no way. Like, I don't want
Okay.
to
What if
touch some
they
of
are-
them.
You-
What if they turn out to be very dangerous?
Then I would suggest for your safety, if you find them to be too dangerous, that you leave and not bother with them anymore. We are
Like,
simply
it's not, like,
asking.
super bad though, like.
It is not super bad, as we're not going to. You're not just going to knock door to door randomly, just telling everybody about the good word.
Hello, my
Wait.
name is Elder.
At the good word, Amy kind of like winces a little bit. Like, please don't.
I apologize. I didn't know any other way to put it.
Like, I don't get it.
We're just there's going to be
No
people
bonuses.
that we want you to contact and inform them. If you do not believe that $20 an hour is generous enough with the $500 a day per diem, I know for some of you it might not seem like that much money.
Like, that's not my biggest worry. It's my worry is like, why do you need them so much? And like, what's the desperate need of them? Like, if you're not too big on an impulse or on numbers itself coming in, and that like, you could tell like she was more worried about like the necessary need to prove that they're doing the job.
Okay.
Does that
Well,
make sense?
It's
like,
not.
yeah.
It's not everyday work, is what she's saying.
well, it's not like that,
Amber.
but like if you, it's kind of like on the retorts of, if you say you're doing it, and no one ever does come to the school, are you really doing it?
No, what? But Eliza is saying, "I'll contact you when I have a job." That's why it's per diem. It's only on the days that you're working do you get paid. So if they contact you, they'll give you $500 and $20 an hour. But if they don't contact you, you're not working that day.
Right, but that doesn't answer the question.
Yeah, Amy.
Okay.
Amy will say. Amy will say.
you get it? Do you get what I
Amy
meant?
will- yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Amy will say, "I'm sure that there is some kind of log that we have to keep of exactly what we're doing, and I'm sure
Yes.
that Eliza's an enterprising individual, and she will follow up if none of the people we contact ever come in contact with her or the Blackstone Institute."
That
Because
is
like she's got some
correct.
eyes on her, like I don't even know where from.
I have contacts, as does Miss Scoville and Mr. Vanderwall. And Mr. Brighton, to be fair.
Well, I have friends. I just hang out with people and we talk. That's all.
Indeed. So-
Amy's gonna say. I think, Amber, that part of the reason why Eliza has contacted us is that the three of you in particular have all gained your powers in different and perhaps abrupt ways, and that you are uniquely situated to help people who perhaps have had similar experiences understand that they are not alone.
Miss Scoville is correct. And if they do decide to, the school is not for profit. There's no tuition or fees. In fact, room and board is available at no cost to the students, or I should say will be once the first campus is opened.
Have you ever read any of the X-Men comics, Amber?
You're-
Hashtag, that's why I'm worried. Like,
I don't know what a
Apologies, what's a
hashtag-
hashtag?
What is a
Sorry.
hashtag?
sorry, that's like why I'm worried.
Oh my god,
Newspaper
your
reel.
2020s are showing.
Like,
Extra, extra, read all about it. Super worried.
like, like there's a like comic stuff that kind of like doesn't say it goes very well for them.
I am not familiar with the tales you are speaking of, but I can look into them.
Well, this is what I would say, Amber, is that we will see if Eliza turns out to be an Xavier, and if she doesn't, or if things go badly, then we can correct that as well. I say with kind of a shark smile.
What kind of powers does an Xavier have? It sounds like a person's name. Anyway, not important, I suppose. So we are all on board.
Like
Then?
if you're just here to help people, like in that stuff, like whatever you're saying, then I'm down. And I just put my hand out to shake her hand.
Excellent, and she'll reach out and shake your hand. We are aiming to help people so that we don't have mistakes from the past revisited. We can get into that later. But for now, and she'll reach down and into her attaché that she carried in with her, pull out 4 contracts for you all to sign. And while you're signing them, it is 11 o'clock, which is quitting time around these parts.
There's one thing I wish I could do real
Sure.
quick.
Okay, what is that?
After Eliza leaves, I say, because I think Zach would already know, and to Amber and Samuel, I want to show you something. And I'm going to say, I had actually already been doing some of this work myself. And I go into my office and tap something probably on my phone, I'm guessing, and reveal that I have this secret room with a library and communications equipment behind my
Ooh.
office
Alright.
wall.
Well, we
I
will
kind of just
end.
wanted to end on that reveal.
No, that's an excellent thing to end on. We will end on that. So yeah, that is our first episode of Revolution. Laying some pipe.
Well, I
As it
mean,
were.
some of us did do that, but it was off scene.
It was off scene, yeah.
Laying pipe is also
I mean,
a storytelling
Yeah.
term for it.
But it's
Yeah, I chose
We
it
know
specifically.
we know
Yeah.
what kind of stories you're
I
talking about.
I knew what I was doing when I chose that phrase. So let's go around in reverse order. I'm slowing because there we go. Nicely refreshed. Milady Cyto, a little bit about yourself and what your favorite part tonight was, if you please.
Hello, my name is Milady Cyto. Like I said, I play tabletop games on my channel. My favorite part of this is there's a lot to love. It's been super exciting, like the build up for this campaign, and anyone who's in chat right now, definitely it's gonna be some crazy roller coasters. So definitely, please coming back. Please keep coming back. My favorite part of this session, there's so much love. I do like the fact that everyone didn't take to Liza very quickly. I would say it was very nerve-wracking and sus, to say the least. I think some people are still a little bit sus. I loved the fact that we get our secret little hidey hole while we're waiting. So that was released today. And overall, it was a really good session. There's so much love. Like I said, it was just groundwork for right now, but
Yeah.
a lot of lore drops.
Indubitably. We gotta. One thing I realize I do is I hold on to the secrets too long. And some of these need to come out just to be the motivations. So yes, thank you very much. We're moving on over to Sugar Daddy. The Sugar Daddy himself.
Okay, not muted. All right. Well, hi. My name is Dennis. You can find me on Twitter at Holding Out Patty. I should have made this Samuel's voice. That would have been real fun.
I
No one would
guarantee.
be attracted to this, though. You can find me holding my cat like an infant for part of the session, probably next Sunday as well. But you can also find me here on Wednesdays, and well, not here, but hanging out with Natalie on Wednesdays on my Lady Cyto's channel. Also with Robin. Weird. And
Hey, I'm there
whenever-
too.
I said you first.
Oh,
Hanging out with
And
Natalie.
you.
but I'm so
my
important I need to be there twice. Sorry, go ahead. I'm done interrupting you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm valid. And then my favorite part is me just nonchalantly getting lines ready for Amber, just as I'm having a full-blown conversation, just doing this one-handed. Also, the fact that Zach apparently drank 8 beers in the matter of an hour and 50 minutes.
No, he'd been there for a while. He got done working around 6.
Be surprised how much you can drink in an hour. Just saying.
I mean, true.
Breakfast beers turned to brunch beers turned
This
to
is the
lunch
days
beers.
of when your options were like Budweiser and Miller. So we're not talking high ABV beers that he's
Yeah,
drinking
like,
probably.
these are heavy, gross beers. Oh, Budweiser.
I didn't say it was his 8th beer since he got to the club. It was just his 8th beer.
Valid.
I have no idea, but why the thought of, like, now that you've said that, why the thought of when Amber took away the drink from the driver did, like, come to mind that Zach was like, damn, sucks to have that low of a tolerance.
Because canonically in Big Trouble in Little China, Zach drinks and drives.
Oh.
Damn.
Early on in the movie, when they're at the airport, the lady, the journalist woman, complains about how his breath smells like beer. Miller time, isn't it?
I tell you what.
It's the 80s. People didn't care. You know, Mad was just coming into a thing.
Yeah, there's still 3 martini lunches happening. Oh.
But you know, I enjoyed meeting all of our characters today. It was great. Especially now that Amy's finalized, because we've all heard about 72 different versions of Amy.
Oh, the shade.
I'm
There
sorry.
was even...
I didn't know the library was on. Let me put my sunglasses back on. Is that what we're doing right now? Is that
But yeah, I enjoyed it today. I mean, I enjoy it all the time, but you get the point.
Just today. Today's the first time I've enjoyed being involved in this game.
I'm just testing out the waters.
If that's fair. That is fair. All right. I hope a little bit about yourself and your favorite part.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm Tracy. I think I'm getting like giddy tired. Yes, you can find me here on Sunday nights doing this, and on Tuesday nights talking about Star Trek: The Next Generation. This coming week, we're going to be talking about the last 2 episodes of season 3, which include a very dramatic finale.
I'm very excited.
It's intense. And also on Milady Cyto's channel on Monday nights, where I play a campaign that is concurrent with the one on Wednesday nights that the rest of these people are in. Except that we're more fashionable and angsty, so we win. Sorry.
Sure.
We didn't get plagued with a disease.
If that's the metric
and
that you
die.
wish to measure by, sure.
Again.
It is what Tia wants to measure by. That's for
That's
sure.
right.
Like
I prefer to
Tia.
measure by how cool they are, in which case once wins.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Probably shouldn't tell the Once Upon a Leap table that Tia lived in Versailles for 100 years.
I
what are they gonna do?
True. Also true.
Yeah. All right.
Tia's a tough
And-
broad. And my favorite part of tonight was honestly just finally like taking our characters out of test drive mode. Like we've done a lot of RP behind the scenes while we're doing playtests, and the system is really good, and it's really good at what it does and what we're going to use the hell out of it for. But it takes some practice to get a smooth combat going. So we've been doing mostly combat, and Natalie has been like, please guys, I love you, but and your RP, it's wonderful, but can we get through the next round?
Yeah, save it for the people, please.
And so now this time we're just like, no, we're RPing.
That's fine.
I will get the speech patterns down for Zach at some point, but I was nervous tonight. I don't know.
Yeah.
It'll get better.
It's the launch.
It'll be
of-
more
So
recognizable.
am I. It
This
changed
show
it
will
7 times.
age like a fine wine.
Mhm.
I am
Mhm.
sure.
Yep. But I really am liking, like, we're all over the top.
Indeed, you are, which is delightful and fitting.
more s-
Also, for heroes in any superheroes, a D&D party, whatever.
Absolutely. And I think most specifically my favorite part is just how anachronistically Amber is inconveniencing Samuel. Like, there's stuff there that I recognize from later on in time, just sort of like habits and ways of sabotaging somebody else. And I'm just like, know this. And Amber would totally be anachronistic. It's totally fine.
Our
I'm
next,
so pissed about her just unplugging the fax machine when we needed it.
are you? I mean, you're
Have
pissed, but you can't be surprised.
Have you ever heard of what a fax machine sounds like when it has no paper? That's one of the
Yes.
only machines that is the most persistent.
It's like the rabbit screaming of the technology world.
Yep.
And it,
Mhm.
I've heard what a fax machine
doesn't-
sounds like when it does have paper. It's awful.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but the thing is, at least it stops after a while because after it's done printing, when it
Yeah.
doesn't have paper, it just continues until.
Forever. All right.
That's
Are we
why
ready?
it's your alarm clock.
Are we
That's why I
ready?
unplugged it. That's why.
Ready to move on for Robin? A little bit about yourself and your favorite part. This
Name is Robin. You can find me on Twitter at KaikaC. As mentioned, you can find me here on Tuesday nights, and you can find me on Milady Cyto's channel on Wednesday nights, but you can also find me on Milady Cyto's channel on Thursday nights in a campaign called Azure Kingdom run by Anarchy Tony. My favorite part, I think, was just getting to actually see people's characters and getting maybe little glimpses into their lives that are not necessarily their superhero identities, about like things that they struggle with or vex them or what have you. I liked seeing that as is one thing that I'm hoping for in this system, and having like a home base and stuff, is that there are more opportunities to sort of get into how people's personal lives can interfere with their superheroing. So I liked that we got at least some of that right off the bat. Like, you know, Amy could try and talk to her mother about some of these people, but she's not going to. Yes, I also did like us sort of being suspicious of Eliza, just because I think it made sense. As much as I'm sure Natalie was like, "Oh God, like how many sessions are we gonna have to go through before you agree to actually like start the adventure?" But at the same time, like I feel like Amy, like, you know, runs a club that is privacy is a thing that, you know, she worries about, and so like
Absolutely.
Eliza busting in and being like, "Hey, I know about all of these important people that go to your club," and her being like, excuse me. But I also feel like Eliza laid some stuff out there that was appealing to, I think, most of our characters, like things that we would care about potentially for different reasons, and so like could hook us in. And I always like when there's that like genuine reasons why people sign up for something like this. You know, I think was nice with Zach, and you know, maybe Zach's sort of Fey passenger is maybe the one who's really driving the interest, but you know, is there, or Amber being like, oh, like, and maybe Samuel too, a little bit like, oh, there are other people out there who could actually maybe, you know, use someone to talk to about this, like, and that being a good hook. And then Amy being like, oh, I can get access to all kinds of stuff that I would not have access to. And you know, maybe she also you know, cares a little bit about people like Amber. But we won't admit that
We'll
yet.
find that out along the way. If that's
That's like why I got my extra room. I think,
All
like I
right.
said,
Oh.
I definitely think that Amber's home life would classify as perfectly fine if it wasn't for the fact she's a mutant, if that makes sense.
Sure. Cause tension,
Yeah.
understandably. All right. Well, I am Natalie, also known as Dark Aardvark. Thank you very much for everybody that showed up. It means a lot to me. Hopefully you enjoyed and stick around and come back and tell all your friends. You can also join my Discord and whether you're a Trek fan or a fan of rEvolution or making stuff. That is the three pillars of my Discord, because those are you know,
3 pillars of your life.
what I stream and what I do. Looking forward to seeing you there and back here next week and on Tuesday. And don't forget to check out Milady Cyto's channel as well, which is conveniently Milady Cyto on the Twitch. And you don't have to worry, she's on this show, so you're not missing out on any Milady Cyto goodness by watching that. In fact, this is the only way you can get Milady Cyto streaming goodness on Sunday nights. Generally on Tuesday nights for just an hour, talking Trek. You're not going to be missing any Cyto streams. So, no, we're not going to tear you apart with your desires on what to do. My
And
favorite
I
part.
enjoy it too.
Yes.
If you haven't seen their talks, it is quite enjoyable. And
Yes.
I am a Star Wars fan. So,
Dirty Star Wars fan.
I know. But the way you guys talk about it, I'm like, man, maybe I should watch Star Trek.
You should. It's good times. My favorite part tonight was, I'll be a little selfish first and say this is the idea for this campaign has been in my head for a very long time, and it's amazing to get it out there. There's going to be some fun stuff that happens. We have done a slightly modified version of Microscope, which is a world building game, and eventually there'll be sessions of that. I'm trying to suss out exactly when that will happen, and chances for the chat to get involved in making some. What we use Microscope for is making some shared history that everybody can grab from, which is where you might have noticed the talk about wacky wavy inflatable arm people, and the I forget the name of the organization.
Care for Air.
Yes. Care for Air is something that came about in those, and will be expounded upon, and more information will be given. Hopefully we're casting out stuff that grabs your attention to keep you coming back. But also just seeing, not having to, because it kills me to stop the RP, because it's what I love about the hobby. So it was fun to just be able to let them all go off leash a bit, and it does kill me to do a little bit to stop some roleplay. But I don't think we needed to spend a whole session on that first night of the club being open.
No.
Although this group could have made it fun,
It's really fine.
For
We
sure.
got
Yes.
you have to get the contract signed in the pilot. Those are the rules.
Indeed.
This group could have made it a week. What do you mean?
And this
And that's like
this week
7
could have made
days.
it a year in real time.
Weird. That entire night at the bar could have been a year.
I
of
lit-
Yeah.
time.
Well, I meant a year of
legitimately-
streams.
Yeah, I legitimately thought that if we were gonna go the opposite way, right, and just completely not negotiate with her, that she would have showed up at every fucking turn and would have been like, it would have been that repetitive, you could have been paid for this. You really could have been paid.
You could have said no, but
situation.
it would have been real difficult on you to get stuff done. Not because she would make it difficult for you, just because it would be difficult. But yes, so I am delighted to get this thing going, and having fun.
I'm really
Um,
excited that you dressed up as Eliza.
Thank you. I don't have a black wig, and she doesn't have curly hair. I like to think of this as like the Disney bounding or like casual cosplay version of her. But thank you. I'm not going to be doing that every week, just because I only have the one Eliza shirt. mostly. But yeah, good times. I mean, I plan on having some fun looks for the show. But yeah, be on the lookout too. There'll be guest stars and stuff, and it could be you. One of the great parts about this format and how they're like, at least how we're starting off, where they're going to recruit people. Those can be NPCs and those can be guest stars. So look out for that in the future. But I guess we should just actually end it for tonight. Again, thank you all so much for joining to watch, and especially to my players for all the time you've given. I'm glad we can finally put the show on the road, as it were, and share it with the peoples.
Yay!
So, until next time. Okay, bye-bye.